Stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets. There we are. What's up, everybody? This is GreenBean. Welcome to the Thursday Thick of It, where we got tons and tons of bologna to slice. It's going to be a good night. I am excited. I am grateful that all of you guys come here and hang out with us each week. And we never know what's going to happen because people in this chat are friggin' plumb crazy. That's the way it goes. You guys are nuts. I love your particular brand of insanity because it's my particular brand of insanity. And we get it going. It's going to be a good time. Thank you for coming. And look, man, we have cuts, right? We have rumors. We have stalled talks that were already stalled. What is that madness? You mean it's worse than we thought it was when nothing was happening? So we have all this stuff. We also have rumors of potential making it. What did they say? Making a run. There it is. Making a run at certain people. We have guys that were supposed to come and didn't come. We have all kinds of feelings to navigate through the rough waters of our feelings. Won't that be fun? It'll be fun. Let's see who started us off tonight. We got Big Green up there. My boy, Big Mother effing Green up there, who I got to hang out with up there, up in New York State where he resides. Good to see you, Big Green. Now, before we bring on the co-host and get this shindig started, I do want to remind you guys of something. We have a big giveaway tonight. Now, we have the standard giveaway, which we're going to give away a t-shirt like we do every week, okay? And the way that we do these giveaways is that every super chat, $5 or over, $4.99 really, $4.99 and up, will be automatically entered into the giveaway. We do it at the end of the stream after the trivia. And if you're in there, you can win it. But this week is super cool because it is Testicular Awareness Month, Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, not just testicle awareness. That's every month, baby. We do that every month. So this month, it just so happened, let me put this one up. It just so happens that our sponsor sent us this amazing thing. This is the limited edition Lawnmower 4.0, the Testicular Cancer Awareness Edition. It is purple. And the proceeds from this go to raising awareness for testicular awareness. But not only that, treatment, research, all those things. We shave balls. Let me see. We shave balls to save balls. Can you read it? It's kind of glary, but I'm doing my best. Shave your balls to save your balls. That's the way it goes. We're going to be giving this amazing device away. This one right here will go to you tomorrow morning. If you win, thanks to our amazing sponsor, Manscaped, the absolute best in below the waist men's grooming, and now even up on the face men's grooming. And you guys can go to their website. The link is in the description. Click on it. Go buy whatever you're going to buy. When you get to checkout, enter the promo code GreenBean, and 20% of your charges will immediately vanish. Poof! And they'll throw on free shipping no matter where you live on this globe or on this flat pancake, whatever it is you think it is. If it's a flat earth, if it's a round earth, doesn't matter. Manscaped will send you this thing or anything you buy from their site by using the promo code GreenBean. And that, as they say, is that. So let's get this going. Let's bring on our co-host for the night, a special guest. I don't know if you know this guy. Let's see if we can introduce him to the crowd and see how you guys feel about our new co-host, Gunny. What's up, Gunny? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, GreenBean. What's good? What's good? It's an honor to be a first-time guest on the show.
See?
This is so awesome. Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good, man. Love to be here. I look forward to these every Thursday night. So it's a pleasure to be here again. I appreciate you for making it a possibility.
Yeah, well, I love it too, man. I look forward to this as well. Thursdays are busy for me, Gunny. I wake up at like 6 o'clock, let's say. I do the whole morning thing, and then my daughter, I got to do her school. Then we have something called Culture Club, which today was Australia, so we had to make Australian treats, and we got to do a presentation and do that for 3 hours or 11 to 2. Yeah, 3 hours. Then we go right from there to piano lessons, and we go right from there to horseback riding lessons. Then I go from there to here. It's like, it's a long one, buddy, but I can't wait to get here. It's the best. This is my favorite show of the week, I think. And you're a big part of that. So thank you for
I appreciate that.
I do want to mention that another big part is someone hanging out in the back that will feather in throughout the show. And that is none other than Jeremy Jets Chaos himself. If you don't think that's really his name, you just got to look at his arm, dude. He's got ink.
Yeah.
Official, Gunny. He's really Jets Chaos.
It don't get more real than that.
I'm telling you, that crazy bastard. So Jeremy Jets Chaos is in the chat. He's in the back. He makes sure everything runs smooth. I'm very, very grateful for his presence. And he'll be tallying all of the potential qualifiers for the giveaways later this evening, and as well as, just taking care of you guys in the chat, making sure nobody's in here. No Packers fans are in here reminding us of our terrible history. We don't need that shit. We know already. Get out of here with that stuff. So Jeremy takes care of that too. And Wat2K will be here as well. New York Sports Wicker Media, and he comes a little bit late every week, but that's fine because he drops the trivia, and we love our trivia. So let's say hello. Bill Liebold's here. Hawk is here, Gunny. Ant-Man's
How
back.
you doing?
Yeah, man. Hawk's a good dude. Ant-Man's here. Eric Craig reminding everybody about the milk thumbs. Let's get those milk thumbs going. All you got to do is hit that little thumbs up, and the milk thumb rotation is complete. Thank you, Eric. It's good to see you here. He wants to talk about Aaron Rodgers again. I don't know, Eric. I don't know if we're going to touch on it. I don't know if we have time to talk about Aaron Rodgers. It's not that big of a deal. So we'll see. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers comes up, Eric. Dino is here. It's good to see you. Kevin Colligan, right above Bismo Charismo from the land down under. Good to have you here, Biz. Jay-Z is here. You're late. You're usually up top, man. I don't know what this is. You're sleeping. Jesse's here. R&R is here. Our boy Harry is here. Everybody give Harry a little heart in the chat. He made it through heart surgery. He's back with us, man. Thank God. We were all pulling for Harry, and he made it. He was with us last night. He's in great spirits. He was his regular old self, man. Grumpy. What do we call that? So you're not all the way, Harry, but a little bit of a curmudgeon when it comes to the Jets. He wants a damn Super Bowl, Gunny. Well, and rightfully so, right? This guy needs a Super Bowl.
100%. I mean, I think we're all at that point, right? Before I die, I would like to see a Super Bowl. And even if it means just one in my lifetime, I would truly appreciate it. Hopefully here sooner than later.
I'm telling you.
So now I feel him. I'm feeling him. Oh, Jets Forever is in the house.
Yeah, Jets Forever's always in the house. Jets Forever lives in this house. He lives here, so he's good. He's good. We were talking about Jets Forever last night, and we had a few people. Kay Yeti was one of them, maybe William Sprague. People were giving Jets Forever his due props, man, because the truth is, before last year's draft, and as crazy as he comes across sometimes, and as maybe trolly at times, he picked Sauce Gardner at 4. He said it. He said wide receiver at 10. He also picked Ruckert and Breece Hall in last year's draft. Yeah. So, dude, I mean, can you deny? You got to give it to him.
Can 100%.
Right? You got to give it, Gunny, right?
Yeah, after Sauce, I didn't think any of the other picks he had picked out were going to happen. And sure enough, he surprised a bunch of us. For who we consider to be a troll, Jets Forever, I mean, he knows these Jets a little bit better than we realize.
That's right. He pays attention. And something else you'll realize, too, is that he doesn't just make up opinions because he watched one video of some guy that said something. He watches film. He knows stuff. Now, I don't happen to agree with him all the time, and that's fine. We don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But the boy gets some shit right. Now, another guy, Kareem's here. It's good to have Kareem here, right? We love Kareem. He's a little difficult, too. He's a little sandpaper elbows. You know what I mean? Little sandpaper elbows, but it's okay. We love you, Kareem. Jacob Finnegan is in the house. Last week's T-shirt winner. Hopefully that arrives any minute now. It was sent on Monday, so you should have it any minute. This is you. Look at you. You're here. Hello.
Oh, I'm doing what I can.
That's right. That's right. Cyrus is here. Squirmy Weasel is here. There's Kay Yeti. Everybody's here. This is good. I'm going to catch up now. So hello to everybody. Bino is here. What's up, Bino? Good to see you. Crossfire's in the house. Now we'll start this. I'm going to put this up here. Thank you, Jeremy. Crossfire has been a member of the channel for 1 month. So congratulations. Here's your member super chat. If you guys want to join the Stream Beaners, the join button is right below the video. You can get access to all of our fun emojis and a free super chat every month as well. Now he says, We had a great mock draft last night. Glad to be a part of it. Now, Crossfire, Steve was asking about it in the Beanbagger Discord, and he's right. We had the baddest ass draft in history last night. Would you like to see it, Gunny? Would you like to see it?
I would love to see it.
All right.
Please.
So Crossfire uses his monthly StreamBeaner chat or super chat to talk about this work of art. Now I'm gonna show you guys something. Now you might not like every player. Jets Forever's gonna go, it's fucking bullshit. You know how it's gonna go. Kareem's gonna call us all losers. That's par for the course. But here's what it looked like, everybody. So last night, I want to tell you, we just started with our picks and we just let the sim do the sim, and we accepted or denied trades as they came. We ended up sliding back from 13 to 17, then 17 to 21. We gained 2 seconds and a third or something like that. It was beautiful. All right. Now, this is what it looks like, everybody. So you want to see a mock draft. This is what a mock draft should look like. Any of your mock drafts don't look like this, you're doing it wrong. Okay. I'm going to take this comment down there, Crossfire, just so we could see, if you don't mind. But thank you, my friend. Thank you for the membership, and you're a beanbagger, a stream beaner, and I appreciate it. Okay, so here we go. So again, we traded back twice in the first because Broderick Jones was gone, Paris Johnson was gone. So we took a chance. We were hoping that Skoronski would make it to 17, and the Pats nabbed him. So we ended up trading back again because that's what we wanted to do. But so we came away with Anton Harrison, which, by the way, guys, a lot of people have in that top 2 or 3. Now, top 4, no doubt. Top 3, a lot of people have him, but some even have him in the top 2 tackles. We got him at 21. So we got Anton Harrison, 1 second and 1/3 for our trade back. That's what it ended up being. Then we went and got John Michael Schmitz in the second. Best center in the draft. He was the top center. Now, I know Jets Forever doesn't agree, but that's fine. We got our first choice, and that's the point. Then we followed that with Kalijah Cansey. Then we followed that with Steve Avila, okay, to play guard center. Dude, we are kicking ass and taking names in the trenches, Gunny. You see this?
Yeah. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, all right. All right. So hold your questions till the end, everybody. Then we went and got safety Christopher Smith. Then we got linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. Contentious. This was one of the more contentious choices that we had in the Beanbagger mock draft last night, but we got him nonetheless. Then we went and got Puka Nacua, who, if he's not asked to start and be your guy right away, is going to be a friggin' monster. Let him fold in and feather in slowly, doing some specific stuff. In year 2, year 3, he's going to be a complete demon, in my opinion. I love him. Then we went and got Bumper Pool. If you guys don't know about Bumper Pool, not only is he the best name in the whole damn draft, this guy can play. He's everything Blake Cashman was supposed to be, and he would fit in beautifully. Keandre Coburn, big run stuff in the set. Now, he ain't going to be there. I'm just going to make sure everybody knows that. He ain't going to be there.
Yeah.
But I say that every year, and dude, like every year there are guys that I say, shit, they should be 4th-round picks, 3rd-round picks, and they undrafted free agents. So who knows, you know? Got Keandre Coburn, and then this was E-Boogie's pick. We gave it to E-Boogie, and he was Deneric Prince, the running back out of Tulsa. If you haven't taken a look, take a look. Getting him late in the draft it's like getting Bam Knight as an undrafted free agent, one of those. So getting him to kind of fill out the rotation is fantastic. So what are your thoughts quickly, Gunny? What do you think about this one?
I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, you've got 2 of my favorite players in this draft, in JMS and Steve Avila. I don't think there's any way Steve Avila drops that far.
The second, he might.
I don't know. I don't think freaking JMS is going to be in the second round either. I think he's definitely going to be a late first-round talent. If we want him, we're going to have to jump into the first round to get him. But somehow getting away with John Michael Schmitz and Steve Avila, this is a dream scenario. If this was to happen, I mean, my God, this is a dream scenario. Now I got to ask, with Anton Harrison, who were the other top prospects available when y'all went with him?
Well, you had Wright and you had a few other guys, we talked about it. Believe me, we discussed it. But Anton Harrison, consensus was largely there was a couple holdouts, but it was like out of the guys there, like Anton Harrison is the man to take. And I would be delighted. And it just so happened that he was at the Jets facility yesterday. I'm not sure if you knew that, Gunny.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
I love Wright. I think
I do
Wright
too.
is one of those guys that If I'm being honest, he's my OT3. I love him a lot. Anton Harrison, you can't be mad at it. I think my only thing with him is his play strength is a little bit concerning to me. I think he needs to get a little bit stronger. I had some notes on him in regards to, I think, like what his hands seem to be a little bit erratic sometimes as well, easily swat away. I mean, again, stuff you can train, but good size, you know what I'm saying? He's got really good feet. I like him. And he's picked right where you would think he's going to be picked, right? Late first round.
Yep.
But and that's why I had to ask who was available. If Wright was available, I think Wright would have been my guy. Though I love Wright a lot. Like, he's really grown on me. But overall, like, I really can't complain about this. This would be the dream scenario. And if this somehow became like this is fruition, like this is what happens, I think it's hard to say the Jets don't win the draft.
Oh my God!
Like that
it's
offensive
like, look, we got our
line.
balls busted here, Gunny. Like he's like, this is it. Dude, you kidding me? Dude, if we came away with this draft, it would be a dream come true.
Beyond dream come true.
Beyond, dude, this is insanity. Now, man, look again, just like Gunny's talking about, valid points. Maybe you like this guy better than that guy.
Yeah, of course.
That's totally fine. But like, it's very rare, very, very, very rare, unless you're Jets forever, of course, that you get a whole slew of guys that you think are the best. It just doesn't happen that way.
No,
often. This doesn't. And if this was what we came away with, I would pass out with glee.
I'll tell you right now. I think John Michael Schmitz is the best offensive lineman in this entire draft. I think he is offensive lineman number one across with the experience. You know what I'm saying? His technical ability, his play strength, his IQ. Like everything he does, it's just beautiful to me. Unfortunately, if you were to grab a center with the 13th overall pick, you're insane, right? Which is why I'm a big fan of trading back if possible. If a guy like Paris Johnson is gone, which is my consensus number one offensive tackle to be taken in this year's draft. But I'm not gonna lie to you. This is I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't see how.
Well, right.
I mean, I just don't see how it's a dream scenario. But JMS, if he makes it to the second round, if we're that blessed and fortunate, even if he just dips into the second, we got to trade up. If JMS is pick 33, we have got to trade up to get this guy. I just don't know if that happens. But Steve Avila, though, is no joke either. Steve Avila is another guy that's really grown on me, one of my favorite players in this draft.
Yeah, I love him.
Man, to have both those guys in the interior of the Jets, oh, man, that's elite. You're talking about right guard is Elijah Vera Tucker, left guard would be Steve Avila. You got your center and John Michael Schmitz. Oh, my, that's scary. That's very scary. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And look, everybody's saying it's completely unrealistic. It's a mock, everybody.
It's a mock,
everybody.
Dream scenario.
Scenario. We didn't just like. It's one thing when you just don't even have anything in front of you. Go, I want this guy in this round. This guy. It's like that's when you get. Dude, it's the sim. It's the sim. It's what happens. It's It's like. And listen, let me tell you something. Every year, every single year, and again, I want to remind everybody. I've been paying attention to the draft. For probably 1994, I started paying attention to it. I think it was 94, Marvin Jones. Forgive me. But around that time, and then I started really digging into it around 2002, 2003. And then I started becoming obsessed with it in like 2015. So I'm going to tell you, I watched every single year. There are players that have no right being there in the late 20s, in the third. It just happens. Like positional value, team needs, all those kinds of things come into play, and these players just slide through, man. That's why having those first 10 picks in the second round are so uber valuable, because it's the spillover. Every year, man, great play. Just go and look at the last 10 years of the first 10 picks of the second round, and you'll see there's like 4 or 5 guys that are studs in the NFL. It happens every year. So maybe unrealistic, but this is what we got, Gunny, and it'd be fucking pretty good, wouldn't it?
I would be literally singing if this was our draft. Yeah. And I'm not a very good singer. I don't do that very good. But I would sing.
One of these days we'll have you. We'll be the judge of how well you sing.
Y'all are very upset.
So there it is. There's our mock, and it's I'm telling you, man, imperfect as it may be. If we come home, if we come away with anything like that, I'm going to be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Now Tony Banks is checking in. He just wanted to say what's up to Gunny, man.
Hey,
New
what's
York
up, Tony?
Jets situation reports. Let's go, my guy. What do you think of that?
I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love, Tony. Thank you very much, man. How you doing today? Hope you're having a great day and you'll enjoy the show, man. Thank you for the super chat.
I'll tell you, Tony's having a good day, man. You can tell. You can see it all over him. He's got caps. He's got exclamation points. He's feeling good. He's feeling good. You know, there's ways to tell, Gunny, you know. Gitmo Bobs, it's hard to rate this draft without knowing who you passed on, but I would have given it an A-. Now, let me just explain something to you guys. Gitmo Bob has been hanging out in our 10 o'clock mocks for 2 or 3 years. He's never given an A. Okay? I mean, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. He hovers around the C. He's just, dude, he's an analytical fella. And he says, I don't like this, I don't like that. So him giving an A, and of course, to seeing on who we passed on can have bearing. And there were definitely guys, man. Believe me, we had long talks. Which guy, we did votes and everything. But I just want you to know, Bob, I'm honored.
Wait, Bob, I gotta ask. GreenBean, what was Bob's grading for the Jets draft last year?
You know what, Bob? I don't know. Bob, what did you think?
I'm curious.
Yeah, I am too.
That wasn't an A.
Bob, what did you think of our draft? Let's do this. Bob, what did you think of the Jets' actual draft when it happened? And did it change now? Like looking back with hindsight. Let us know and we'll try to scan the chat. Jeremy, if you wouldn't mind just keeping an eye out for that Gitmo Bob response. Let me know just in case I miss it. Thank you, man. You're really very, very good looking. I want you to know that. Jeremy's feeling better too, which is nice to see. He's on the mend. He's on the mend. Our buddy Leo Vernacchio checking in, Gunny. He says, what's up, guys? Do you think we'll draft a linebacker? What do you think of this Campbell kid? Jack Campbell from Iowa. I believe his name is. Heard he's damn good. Well, look, have you done any work on Campbell?
I have not. I don't see linebacker being a pick in this particular draft, especially taking into consideration that we're going to lose one of those second-round picks to get Aaron Rodgers in the building. I've been very, very vetted in looking at safeties and offensive tackle, defensive tackle. I do believe right now with the loss of potentially a guy like OBJ, that wide receiver is now back on the table. So I'd be lying if I told you I did enough research on this Campbell kid to have an intelligent, conversation about him. But I'm curious though, like if anybody that where's I know for a fact either freaking Jets Chaos or Y2K probably have because they've been looking at every component.
Well, Jack Campbell, I mean, he's on many people's boards, Leo. He's in the top 3. He's linebacker 1 on some. He's linebacker 2, linebacker 3 inside. So, I mean, he's a damn good ball player. And when you get linebackers and tight ends coming out of Iowa, offensive linemen, they have a specific mold up there. And they come and they're heavy hitters. They tend to be smart, aggressive players. Jack Campbell is pretty much widely considered a late first-round pick. He might squeak through to the second. He'd be a fantastic get. That said, look. Last year, I was convinced the Jets were drafting a linebacker. I couldn't see it any other way. Every round we got to him, and then we traded up to the second. I'm like, oh, they're definitely trading up for Dean. There's just no way. He's not supposed to be there. We trade up, we grab Breece Hall. It's like, what the hell's going on? Third round, we take the tight end. We're stacked with tight ends. We take Ruckert. Holy shit. The fourth round, okay, we grab Max Mitchell. Great pick. I'm fine. But last pick's got to be a linebacker. Michael Clemens. I was like, what just happened? So I don't know. I mean, this year, look, we're essentially losing Quan Alexander. There are rumors of the Titans, I think it is, that he might be signing over there. So we're going to lose him. We did re-sign Quincy Williams, as everybody knows. But I mean, Jamian Sherwood, in my opinion, is ready to come in and start. He's ready, dude. He's been groomed. He's been on the team. He's going into his 3rd year. Now, the first year was cut short because of the Achilles thing. But Saleh loves him. He said, in Saleh's words, he belongs. Just know that. So, that's a big thing. And then last year, he was a special teams demon. Every time he came on the field in spot duty for C.J. Mosley, he made every tackle, and aggressively so. I think he's primed, ready. He's the epitome of a developed player. I think they think the same thing. That said, even if he comes in, we still have Hamza Nasruddin on the roster. So if they do draft a linebacker, I think it's going to be fourth or later, somebody to kind of replace the pipeline spot, play the specials while Sherwood kind of gets more defensive snaps. That's what I see. Maybe I'm wrong, and we'll see.
One of the guys I can speak on.
Yeah, go on.
In regards to the linebacker core, I want to say I think it was Henley. He plays for Washington or Washington State, maybe. That escapes me briefly, but I did do some work on like late potential round linebackers. But Henley to me was one of those guys that I saw freak athleticism. He can cover. He was a former wide receiver that turned linebacker, tackling machine. Like he attacks the ball, and that was one individual who I felt, because I think he's a bit of an older prospect, might fall into the later rounds. I was expecting him potentially in the third round. Maybe fourth, which would be a stretch, but we got rid of our third rounder. So once we got rid of the third rounder, I realized, all right, this is somebody who I think fits what, a guy like Salah would want to do in terms of bringing in a linebacker. He does what Quan does, but better in terms of coverage. So Henley is one of the guys that I really did research on because I felt he was a realistic get potentially in the third round.
Yeah.
But without a third round now, I haven't done enough research on the linebackers who are going to be going in the first two rounds, because for me, it's easy. Offensive tackle, center. That's our first two rounds. And I've been really focused on that.
Well, and it's funny because, people have asked me, we don't have a center, right? So that's, in my opinion, that's need one. Need one. Why wouldn't we take need one in the first round then? Well, because need one is a position that you generally, unless you're in the second half of the first round, you don't really use, you can get away with waiting. And so you can get a tackle and potentially a top one or two center if you do it that. If you take the center first, the tackles are gone, and then you're looking at tier 2 or tier 3 tackles, and that's just the way it goes. There are premium positions, right? So that's kind of how you manage it. Again, it's all guesswork, but having a regime like Joe Douglas, I mean, he looks like he at least has a read on kind of what everybody's probably going to do. You can't predict everything, but his staff is also focused on everybody else. Tendencies. What are they likely to do? Do I need to trade up in front of these assholes? Or are they going to likely do that? And you kind of weigh those odds, and then you can govern the draft that way. That's kind of what we're seeing, in my opinion. And it helps, man. Like when McCagnon didn't even let our scouts talk to our coaches. I mean, that's where we came from, guys. That's where we came from. He didn't even let our scouts talk to our coaches. What is this? Who made that rule? Mike McCagnon did. That's it. So yeah, man, it's interesting. Oh, I wanted to point this. I saw this. Wait, where was it? There it is. Here's the official Jets Forever opinion. Even with Steve Avila, he don't give a shit because he only wants one guy in the first. That's it. He has no wiggle room. It's only Jalen Hyatt. That's it. He doesn't want to hear anything else. That's why. So if it's not Jalen Hyatt, it's a shit draft.
It's a shit draft. All right.
Yeah, but look, he was like that with Sauce last year, so who knows?
He's consistent. At least he's consistent.
He is consistent. Now, Gitmo Bob checked back in, Jeremy said. I have it here, but I want to find the actual thing here. Oh, here it is. So he says the real draft last year was an A. He loved it. That's good because even though I didn't think we were going to draft Sauce and all that shit. Once we got Jermaine Johnson in the first and Brees, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is real. This is amazing. Yeah. But he said he did give one mock an A- last year. So forgive me, Bob. I thank you for correcting me. It's nice to see. So let's do this, man. Everybody in here, it's good to have everybody. Again, GreenBean here, and that's Gunny. We're going to talk about a few things. Now, the big story today, the biggest story that we could possibly conjure, is none other than the Jets cut Braden Mann today, Gunny. So now a lot of Jets fans wanted this very, very badly. When we signed Morstead, you're right. I know. Jeremy, you okay? You going to make it? Jeremy's falling apart over there. So, I mean, look, so one of our scapegoats is gone. He's gone. A guy that we all threw daggers at and we all, whatever. He was very, very inconsistent, very good at times, and then just completely atrocious others. He is responsible for the Jets not having Trevor Lawrence, so that's pretty friggin' big, dude. Okay, He made that tackle, Gunny, that tackle against the Rams. But what are your thoughts, man? What do you think? You think this was a good move? You think, technically speaking, even though he was inconsistent, he was statistically a better punter in most metrics than Morstead, but Morstead was kind of consistent, and that's valuable. So what do you think? Are you broken up? Are you happy? Are you elated? Or are you just kind of like, hey, it is what it is? Where do you stand on the Braden Mann cut?
Man, to me, shocked me that he made it through the entire season last year on the roster. I was shocked, right? For me, I put the Patriots loss on him, punting the ball within play, shanking it as such. It was a short field. I put that loss on him heavily. I'm not sure, again, if the coaching had told him to kick it out of bounds or get out of the backfield. I don't know. But nonetheless, common sense would say let's not make it a short kick and make it easy for these guys to run it back. So I'm definitely still salty about that loss to the Patriots, and I put that on man. But, yeah, the Trevor Lawrence debacle, I think that's an easy one to go ahead and easily say, you know what, he jinxed us. He jinxed us. I wasn't in the boat of like we're gonna suck for Trevor Lawrence or for anything like that, but we were already doing that, and I was already like, okay, well, at the very least, us sucking this bad, the reward is you get a generational talent, as we've heard numerous times now over the last freaking 5-6 drafts. Apparently, a generational talent is once every draft you can find one.
I know, every year.
Every year there's a generational talent.
Overusing words.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been devalued dramatically.
Like, it's like saying I love you. Love
pretty much.
Love was such a powerful word that men couldn't even say it. Man, they were all jokes and old.
We hesitated.
Yeah, we couldn't say it. Now I fucking love everything. I love you, dude. Yeah. Really? I just met you. I just met you an hour ago. We're in love? What happened? I don't love you, dude. It's crazy, isn't it?
For me, I'm glad it happened. I was surprised it took this long. I don't think we're missing out on anything with him being gone. Now, I will say this: he was very promising. I won't lie; I was one of the excited individuals when I saw him when we drafted him and whatnot, realizing him coming out of Texas A&M. Got a chance to see this kid play a couple of times at Texas A&M, so I was kind of excited. But at the end of the day, inconsistency at that position is you can't have it. You just can't have it. It doesn't get enough love, but it's a very important position in this game, especially when your offense can't move the ball and your puncher is going to get a lot of field time. So it was one of those things where it made all the sense in the world to get rid of him. I do admire the fact that Joe was trying to get something for him, incorporating him into a trade. Get that. But in all actuality, when it didn't come to fruition, him cutting bait, I love that. So I'm a fan of the cut.
You're a fan of cutting man.
Yes.
What I did there?
Facts. I like that. I like that rhyme.
That's how I roll, man. I look for shit like that. Now another one. Now look, so we got generational is a word that's overused. Love is a word that's overused. Luke is checking in with another one. GOAT. Everybody's the damn GOAT. That means, just so we're clear on what that little
acronym means.
Acronym. Thank you. I was going to say anagram. I'm like, that ain't it, buddy. What that acronym means is greatest of all time. That means one person is the GOAT. Not everybody. Oh, he's a GOAT. He's a GOAT? He's a greatest of all time? Is that what
doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's happening to us. What's some other ones? Do we have any other ones here? What's another one, guys, that is an overused term? Kick the tires was a big one for a while. Everybody's kicking the tires. They're going to kick the tires on. Hey, you know what you should do? Kick the tires on. That guy was cut. Kick the tires. Like, what the fuck are we kicking the tires, man? What is this?
That think one now, what is it? Mount Rushmore has become overused as well. Like almost devalued, right?
The Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I think people forget that originally you're supposed to pick the individuals you would put, like greatest of all time in essence, that you would put on your Mount Rushmore. Just for the record, that's 4 individuals. You pick 4, and you see Mount Rushmore's is like 7, 8, and I'm like, what are we doing? I think you forget what that entails. So That's another one that I think has been overused quite a bit.
It's a good one. Now, Jets Forever is saying him, like he's him.
Oh, he's him. Yes, he's right.
He's him. Well, that's kind of like the GOAT. Is him an acronym? Does it stand for anything?
No, it just means like that's that person, that's that dude, right? Like, so it's like the term king is being overused. Everybody's a king now, right? Like, so it's him is like supposed to be that's that guy. That's the guy that he's him in essence. There can only be one, and yet everybody's a him now. So yeah, Just Forever nailed it. That's true. That's another one that's significantly overused.
Yeah. I like a look at this one. Blockbuster trade from our buddy Nick Sean. Everything's a blockbuster.
Everything is.
Yeah. It's like, no, he traded a 4th. What are you? That's not a blockbuster trade. The Detroit Lions trade Jeff Okudah for a 10th round pick.
Blockbuster trade.
Yeah.
That's not. You're right. That's a good one. That's not a blockbuster trade.
It's not a blockbuster trade. That's right, man. Blockbuster meant all kinds of shit was going on. It was huge, big deal. So let's see. A comment has Twitchy. Twitchy's another goodie, Gunny.
That is
Twitchy.
a good one.
That's funny. That's new too. It's only the last couple of years we've been using Twitchy. He's a little twitchy. He's not twitchy enough. Look, Charles going deep. Hate is an overused word. Definitely. Thank you for sobering us, Charles. That's very true. Very true.
Very true.
I said love. Charles said hate. We got it covered, and we're good. But he's right. Hate is an overused word. I hate that guy. Like, what do you mean? Why?
Yeah.
He took my cupcake. You hate for that?
You're right.
You're aggravated.
It is
That's
overused.
All. It is overused. It's a good one, Charles. Thank you. Let's see. At the end of the day, from Nick Shine. At the end of the day. Well, hey, at the end of the day, you just gotta figure it out. That's just what it goes. Leverage? You think leverage is a bit? I don't know.
Over the last month, yes. Over the last month, it definitely has been overused.
I almost forgot. You know what it is? You know what I do with trauma is I stuff it and I forget it. I
put it in a corner.
I forget it. I don't think it exists anymore. So I forgot about leverage. I mean, what are you talking about? Leverage. Holy shit. Jason says it is what it is. That's a big one. That is what it is. It's like the end. Like when you're in a discussion with somebody and you're like, well, I don't know. It is what it is, man. And fucking.
That's like man code for like I'm over it. I'm
over it, dude. That's right. It means that's the
just
end.
Man code. I'm just done with it.
Right. If you keep talking, now we're gonna get into the land of arguments and frustration. It is what it is, bro. Leave it. Leave it alone. That's funny. Bee's knees, Eric. You don't like the bee's knees. What happened? I don't think bee's knees is over. You think
I don't hear that one. I don't hear that one very often.
Maybe in Eric's world, he's like, I'm sick of these people. Everybody's saying bee's knees. I don't hear that one very often. Pats win the Super Bowl. Look at this guy. What are you talking about? Oh, that's definitely overused. Hell yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, we're sick and tired.
Wait a minute, that's J Claus. Oh my God,
it's been a while.
I feel like I might be a little slow tonight, Gunny. I'm just realizing that right now.
Ooh, here's the good one. Breaking news.
What is it?
Okay, hater with the breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
That's another one that's just being overdone. Like it just hit. Like I think it was somebody got traded for a 5th round pick the other day. It doesn't really even matter. But we all knew it was coming. They were already in discussion for the trade for a cornerback. Anyway, it wasn't breaking news. They were like, breaking news, 5th round pick traded for a cornerback. And I'm like, they've been talking for like 2. We all knew it was coming. They've been talking for a couple of weeks now. This isn't breaking news. Like, breaking news was OBJ going to the Ravens. That came out of nowhere. That was breaking news, right? Like, where the heck did they come from? Like, the Ravens weren't even in the discussion. That's when you know it's breaking news. But a trade, Okudah, I think Dan Nick just put it out. Okudah got traded for a 5th round pick. We all knew it was going to be a mid-round pick, and they were in discussions. That's not breaking news. That's just here are the trade results. That's more of a result, not breaking news. But, man.
Let me see. I want to say hello to Tin Star. What's up, buddy? Good to have you back. We had a whole group of our, I told you, man, I've been online talking Jets since the 90s, right? And so there's now there's a lot of us out here. But back then there wasn't. It was it was a smaller group. And last night we just happened to have 5 of us from the old days all on the same stream. It was great. And then we even found out a couple of our old buddies died. It was like a whole thing. Oh, so wow. Tin Star, it's 2 nights in a row, buddy. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here, man. It's nice.
Throwback Thursday. Thursday.
It feels good for me, man, seeing Tin Star around. It really does. Let's see what else we got here. Slang? I don't know, man. 69. Slang's pretty good. I don't know. I don't hear that too much.
I don't hear that much either. Yeah.
Breaking now. Yeah, breaking news. Yeah. Especially if you go on Instagram, dude. There's 500 Jets news channels on Instagram. Every single one of them puts out breaking, anywhere from an hour to 5 days afterwards. So that something happens. 5 days later, breaking news.
What it is it's because of the algorithm, right? If you put that in the algorithm and you do the hashtag breaking news, that Twitter and Instagram don't know any better. They're like, oh, there's hashtag breaking news, and they pop it up. They just refresh it. And it's in your face. But I think that's why it's started to lose so much value. It's because now it's more of a hashtag than an actual fact.
Yeah, that's that it's very true. So Jeremy says a good one. This is Jeremy's Jets Insider. That's a big one. Everybody's an insider. What happened? Nobody's outside anymore. Everybody's inside, Gunny. Everybody knows. Everybody knows what's going on.
Everybody's getting the tea. Everybody's getting it.
I mean, shit. By certain standards, I'm an insider, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know how that happened. I have a couple links. I'm no insider. I'll tell you that. I'm outside. I get my shit from insiders. You know, it's like I'm definitely not that. That's a good one. David says Monday morning quarterback. That's a good one. Oh, Eric said, yeah, look, everything's a blockbuster now. That blockbuster video. When Blockbuster was in business,
Crazy,
there were
right?
no blockbuster trades. What happened?
Facts.
Right?
Now all of a sudden, it's a big deal.
Oh, this is a good one. Small Heath Jet Petro can make all the throws. That's it. That's a big one. Every quarterback coming out, he can make all the throws. Yeah, no shit. He made it to senior year in college ball, dude. You don't do that. You want to know why I'm not a quarterback? Because I can't make all the throws, dude. I can barely make any of the throws. I'll tell you what I can do. I can do what Zach Wilson can't, though. I can hit a fucking screen, man. All day long. I'll hit
all
those
day.
screens. All day, Gunny. I'm convinced. Now, look, I was never a quarterback. I've had to play, some pickup games, and I have had my moments, you know what I mean, and just pickup stuff. But like whenever I played, I was never. They didn't let me anywhere near the ball, right? I was like lineman all day long, right? I was linebacker, defensive end, offensive guard, all those types of things. But I'll tell you what, you put me, and I maintain this. I could go there today. You just take me and you put me out there on the field. Like, dude, GreenBean, we're sorry. We're down to nothing like they did with McCaffrey in the NFC Championship game. We need you just to get under center and throw the ball. He's going to be right there. Just hit him, hit the screen, and everybody else will do the job. I am telling you with assuredness, I can do that. I can do it. I know I can.
Yeah.
I would be 75% passer if that's what we're going. I could even hit a little quick slant, little Garrett Wilson middle, boop. I'll do it. I can do it.
I feel pretty confident to say I would be a 60 to 65% passer.
Right, man?
Better than what we saw in Zach Wilson.
That's right. And anything better than 55. Anything better
is a
than
win.
55. It's a win, right. Sleeper pick, Kyle. KyleOifer.com. There it is. Nice, Kyle. That's a good one. Sleeper pick. Everybody's got their sleeper. Every year we hear that shit. Camp Arm. That's a good one. What is this? Or bust. Fill in the blank. Or bust. Now what would be a blank there? Blank or bust? Like San Francisco or bust? Yeah, or bust.
Stud or bust. Like there's no in between. Like he's not going to be an average player. Like superstar or bust. Maybe. He's going to either be great or he's going to suck, right? Like there's no in between, which I think is kind of a ridiculous thing to say. Like some individuals, I mean, their talent is either going to be freaking superstar status or he's going to be a bust. Or like Anthony Richardson. He's either going to be a superstar or a bust. Apparently, there's no in between for Anthony Richardson because it's either his ceiling or his floor, and he's going to hit one of them. Yeah, right, there's no in between, right? Like, yeah. I see what he's trying to say. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you try to say there's no in between for somebody when you have that range.
That's true. These are good, man. What's up, buddy? So Tin Star says, what about process? Yeah, that's a big one.
Like,
I use process. So I say that shit a lot. I need to process this a little bit.
Yeah, I do too.
It's funny, man, because my wife, you guys know, like we're in recovery, right? So we have all these terms and these things. And a lot of times I'll say that. I'll say, all right, well, I need to process. She's like, no, you don't, dude. Like, you need to fucking give me an answer. You know what I mean? Like right now, there's not a big, just give me an answer. I'm like, I need to think. I need to process. It's like, this guy and his friggin' what good is your process? I'm like, I don't want to say anything too fast. Kareem says, cute. LaFleur being too cute in the end zone. There it is. Yeah, we were aggravated with that shit.
We heard that quite a bit last year.
Let's see. What else we got here? This show is the bee's knees. Hey, Eric, get him. Get K Yeti, Eric. He's saying bee's knees, this guy. All right, we're going to end that little segment. Let's see if there's any more. Hot take from Dom C. What's up, Dom C? How you doing, buddy? It's good to see Dom in the house. Dom came back from vacation. He's well-rested and tanned. All that sort of stuff. You know, he had a good time. So it's good to have Dom C back in the fold. Welcome back, my good friend. Let's see. Dano checking in. Thank you, Dano. And I'll remind everybody, Every super chat, $4.99 and over, will be entered to win a Green Bean T-shirt tonight at the end of the stream. And this, I keep doing it backwards, Johnny. This limited edition Testicular Cancer Awareness Month version of the Lawnmower 4.0, the crown jewel of the Manscaped collection, right here. One of you guys is going to win this tonight. You want to be entered. All super chats, $4.99 and over, are automatically entered by our boy Jeremy Jets Chaos, and we'll do that at the end of the stream. So Dano checking in. You are now entered. If we go offensive tackle at 13, thoughts on starting him over Mekhi so he's ready for the playoffs, and that way Mekhi is eased back into it, and then they both start in the playoffs. Gunny, I got to process a little bit. What do you think? You have any thoughts off the top of your head? I'm thinking about this one.
I want to play the best player available on our roster. If the 13th overall pick happens to be the better offensive tackle and Mekhi Becton gets beat out by whether it's Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, Skowronski, whatever, then that guy's playing. I don't want to play games with the offensive line. I don't want to go ahead and do mix and match going into the postseason when fluidity is so important. Those guys need to be on the same page, and I don't want to play with the offensive line. Be healthy, and everybody that's healthy, the best player plays. That's what I want. So for me, no, I don't want to go ahead and get too cute. I don't want to get cute with the offensive line.
Man. It's funny.
I don't want to do it. It is.
It's funny.
But yeah, Dane, for me, if whoever beats out who is the starter, and then the other guy's the backup. The only way the backup gets in there is, of course, to get some rest for those guys or injury. You know what I'm saying? Knock on wood, we don't deal with that again this season. But nah, I want the most fluid group of offensive linemen in front of Aaron Rodgers this season. That's what I want.
I'm right there with Gunny. Here's what I think, Dane. Even if we take an offensive tackle, let's say we get the tackle one, right? The guy that they have on their board, the best possible tackle. Still, what they need to do is bring them guys into camp, and they have a battle. That's it. Best guys play. And no matter how you slice it, let's say it's Paris Johnson, just for argument's sake. He comes in, and he's battling Dwayne Brown on the left side, and he doesn't beat him out. No big deal. We got Paris Johnson developing on the back end while Dwayne Brown's out there. He outplayed him, whatever. Let's say it's reversed. Paris Johnson beats him out. Dude, in the event anything happens to Paris Johnson, dude, you got Dwayne Brown coming in. You see what I mean? It's a really good scenario to have. Now, the whole idea of phasing Becton back in, I get it. And I think they're going to. I think they're going to pitch count, and they're going to do it the right way. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. It's all about, it's all about his physical health, his elasticity. He's working with our team now, as opposed to last year when he was down there in Texas. Now he's working with Duke Manyweather, so it's not exactly a slouch, of course. But again, with the team, they know exactly what's going on. They know what the tendencies are, where you might be, leaning, where you might be weak. So they know all that already. They can adjust and compensate. I think that's very, very beneficial. And I think that he's got a better shot. But yeah, they'll probably pitch count him, and him and Max Mitchell will battle it out, and the best guy wins. And I think that's the way to do it. And look, we draft a tackle at 13. Again, you got Dwayne Brown, Skowronski, Johnson, Jones, Harrison, whoever it might be. And then you got Becton and Mitchell. Not a bad scenario, man. Not a bad group of guys. And I think all of them can play. And that's kind of what you want. That's what, and then again, Dwayne Brown, like we talked about last week, he's only going to be here one more year. So even if Paris Johnson or whoever the fuck it is that we draft ends up not playing, no problem, dude. By the time he does, he's going into year 2 in the system, and that's not a bad deal either. So I like that. Tin Star said, "You're being so nice to me tonight, Tin Star. Thank you. It was always a good listen." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I try, man. I try. You should have talked to me 5 minutes before the show. This was not the guy you would have met. This was not him. Right, Gunny? 5 minutes before the show, I was in a different place.
Hey, that's neither here nor there. That's for behind the scenes. Let them watch the
right.
positivity.
That's right.
The positivity.
Yeah. That's right. See, it's the show. It's the chat, honey. It's you, the chat,
picks you up.
Jeremy.
It picks you up.
That's right.
Yeah.
It picks me up, and then I drink this gallon of coffee, and we're all good, brother. But I'll tell you what, I haven't vaped. That's another thing, man. I haven't vaped in a few days, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm a little edgy, everybody. Chewing on pens and stuff. You know how it goes. Jason Edwards, our buddy, check it in. Although I'm super optimistic, if A-Rod isn't our quarterback this fall, what do you think our record would be? Well, let's expand on that, Gunny. Who do you think? Let's say the A-Rod thing falls through. Let's say the Bakhtiari ridiculous scenario comes to play, where they just decide we're going to pay him $60 million and put him on the bench and not get picks. Let's say the Packers are that stupid, and they do that so the GM can protect his job. That's what he said. Maybe the GM wants to protect his job, so he just keeps Aaron Rodgers on the bench. What are you talking about? Well, let's say that happens. The Packers cut off their nose to spite their face. They don't care. They're not giving him up for what we're offering. Who is our quarterback next year? Do you think we go to the draft? Do you think do we grab Matt Ryan? I mean, what do we do in the event Aaron Rodgers' deal falls through?
So I've actually thought about this long and hard. The more and more I'm on Twitter and getting sucked into the Packers fan base mentality of copism about, hey, just keeping him on the roster and then just sucking it up and just sucking for the next couple of years as he's the backup. So I've said, okay, well, what are the options? So for me, I actually, again, you think I'm crazy. I go back to last year, the New York Jets with average quarterback play would have still made the playoffs. Like, I really believe with average quarterback play, if our team, we just had the basic top 15 to top 20 quarterback, the New York Jets would have made the playoffs. In fact, I still say that the New York Jets could have beaten out the Bills and the freaking Patriots and the freaking Dolphins to be AFC East champions. People think I'm crazy, but if you look at the basic numbers of a Jacoby Brissett and you put those on the Jets last year, we win the AFC East. That's how good our defense was. It sounds ridiculous, but the defense was that good. So for me, I said, okay, I don't expect the defense to be that good again this year, right? Like, health is going to be an issue. It's bound to happen. Knock on wood that they're better, but I'm trying to be real. Vice top 5, let's go with top 10. I think a guy like a Ryan Tannehill should be taken into consideration. Another average prospect that can go ahead and potentially get this team to the playoffs, kill this playoff drought. Now, are we going to the Super Bowl with him? I'm not saying that. That's not something I'm going to be able to say out loud. But he's somebody who can go ahead and make the team at least competitive and entertaining to watch for a full season. Option 2 for me, I do believe Matthew Stafford being out there as well, being dangled, makes sense. People are going to say, well, why not freaking, Lamar Jackson? Look, Lamar Jackson is not leaving Green Bay. Like, even if we decide to say, I'm sorry, Baltimore, sorry.
Yeah. We know
he's just, I know you know what I meant. Yeah, but there's just no way, right? Like, people keep saying, like, well, let's go for him. I'm telling you right now, the Ravens are waiting on some team to do the legwork just to match it, right? There's no way that the guy walk out. Their offense is literally built and catered around him. If they have the ability to match it, Lamar really doesn't have the freedom to move. I don't think that's worth the time and the effort. So then scenario 3. So if we got Ryan Tannehill, we got Matthew Stafford, and then I already know I'm going to get blasted for this. Not Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson in year 3. Zach Wilson, year 3, different OC. You put a good offensive line in front of the kid. Last year, believe it or not, when the offensive line allowed that man to have 3 to 4 seconds, he was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL in those throws.
Nope.
Then I'll get the data for you. Not
get
in
it.
those throws.
Get your data.
He was a top 10 quarterback.
Jets forever and get your data.
So the product to me, if you put an offensive line in front of him, and I think an offensive coordinator with a level of experience, this guy made Blake Bortles look like he was a legitimate quarterback in the NFL. Right? So that's the real thing. That happened. A healthy Breece Hall. It's not as if Zach Wilson wasn't on a roster last year where they did get some wins with him at quarterback. It's very possible. But year 3 is usually, back in the day, is when you saw them take the major step. Quarterbacks to, okay, this is how fast the game is. This is what I need. That's when they took the major step. I'm not saying it's ideal, but he is still on the roster, and he's going to be on the roster. So if plan A, plan B, plan C falls through, hey, Zach, this is it. This is your opportunity to go ahead and show the world what you can do with your level of arm talent, or we now know that you'll never amount to anything in the NFL. New OC, we're gonna upgrade the offensive line in front of you. This offensive coordinator was able to make Blake Bortles look as if he belonged in the NFL. Like, here's some weapons in Garrett Wilson going into year 2, a healthy Breece Hall, Allen Lazard. Like, there's not a lot of hope in that particular forecast, but it's an option to where we will know. Like now, rather than saying, well, he'll sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years, and then by the time the 5th-year option comes around, we'll know if he can play in this league, having watched. All right, well, we'll just accelerate the process a little bit. And if we suck, we suck. Now we got a higher draft pick next year to go ahead and get a quarterback in next year's draft.
Oh, my God, Gunny. I can't do it.
It sucks to say it.
But look, you have some good points, though. Like, the truth is Zach can make all the throws, okay? We know that. Now, he has struggled to do so. He's got the talent to do it.
Yeah.
Like Tin Star said. I mean, dude, and Hennessy said it too. I mean, we have plenty of evidence that Zach has struggled to do the easy shit, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's more than enough evidence. Anybody saying otherwise is just not looking at the big picture, or the whole picture. That's the truth.
Facts.
But it's a different regime. And if the offensive line does give him the confidence that he can stand back there and not have to run 15 yards in circles backwards, if he can do that, I got something. I got to stop chewing plastic pens. I'm dying over here. I'm actually chewing. I'm actually chewing them too. I'm eating plastic. So, I mean, I look. I would really hate to see it. I really would.
Yeah.
But there is a scenario where Zach Wilson can be treated differently, given a different, a different way to do things by a guy who's experienced. He did work with Blake Bortles. He did get, multiple MVPs with Aaron Rodgers. Everybody goes, yeah, but it's Aaron Rodgers. Well, dude, he didn't get MVPs every other fucking year. He never got back-to-back MVPs. So there is something there. There's some connection there. That Hackett and Aaron Rodgers is on record as saying he's a fantastic coach. He's a great coach, a great developer, great, teacher. So maybe. That said, Jason Edwards, I don't know. Now, if it is Zach, it's like I just have a hard time putting negatives. Like if it's Zach, I'm gonna want him to succeed like nobody's business, bro.
I'm a Jets fan first.
Yep. Right. He's number one fan. Rooting for his ass. But the sad part is that his rope is going to be short, and
extremely short.
He can't
100%.
come out week one and throw a bunch of clams, and then let's say week one's away and he looks like shit. Then he comes home week two and he comes out and in the first drive he goes up and 3, down and 3. Then he comes out and throws a pick. It's over, dude. You know what I mean? Boo, and then he's going to get rattled again, and it's over.
Well, we'll break him. We will break Zach Wilson if he does get another opportunity, because everything else felt. Again, this is not, for the record, this is not my plan A, B, C, or D.
I got
this
it.
is
Yeah,
plan
we're answering the question.
Right?
We're answering the question.
This is plan E. Zach Wilson's rope would be extremely short. This fan base does not have the patience for it. We are a very, very aggressive and hostile and passionate group. And by game 2, if he's showing us the same signs we saw as last year, Zach Wilson will most likely never play in the NFL again.
Yeah,
we will break that man. We will break that man.
Worse than Sam. Worse than Sam.
Exactly.
Now, Douglas Bailey, I think Douglas is saying here. Now, I had to back it up. I saw this. I couldn't pass it. I had to. He doesn't think I can play quarterback in the NFL, I'm gathering. I don't know what this guy's problem
With all due respect,
Douglas,
there is no way.
Why are you giving me attitude, man? Well, clearly I can play quarterback in the NFL. I'm 50 years old. I've never done it, never played quarterback. And then Squirmy Weasel says, yeah, boy, it's all fun and games so you get crushed by a 250. Right, till Milano comes fucking flying in and just cuts me in half like poor Mike White.
I'll be the first to admit, GreenBean, like when I was a freshman in high school. So my high school didn't have a football team. So I wind up getting recruited by Pemberton Township High School in Pemberton, New Jersey, because I was fast. I'm fast. So I got to go ahead and play for another school because my high school didn't have a football team. And my first sport is basketball. First love, first sport. I got really good at it really fast. Love basketball. But football is fun to watch, right? And I had fun playing, touch football with my boys. Flag football was fun. So I threw on the pads and I went out there. The first time I played wide receiver and I was told to go up the middle, and I got laid the fuck out
Really?
by a linebacker. I said, yeah, no, this isn't for me.
Right.
I'll be the first to admit, I didn't like it. So I got put on defense for the rest of that year. I love hitting people.
Well, that's
I
it.
I love doing the hitting.
Yeah.
But being hit being hit blindly, I swear to God, every time I see it happen in the NFL, I'm like, that dude is built different. Like, you're built different to take that kind of hit, wake up, go back to line of scrimmage and do it
Wake
again.
up.
Like for
Well,
me,
you see the guys, right? Like Gunny, you see the guys, they get walloped and and they bounce off and keep going. Dude, that's a special thing.
That's a special
Really
skill
is.
set. That's a
You
special
don't
skill
realize
set.
it. You know, look, man, I used to coach football. I coached football, young kids, 9, 10, 11-year-olds for 3 years. Then I coached my son team. Like one time down in South Florida, we showed up. They have something called I-9 Sports. So we show up, it's flag.
Okay.
And we show up and everybody, they're dividing the kids up into their teams and everything. And then they divide our kids up and the guy who runs the thing comes over and goes, all right, here's the story. We don't have any coaches for you. And we're like, okay. So if you want to play, you guys got to do it. And I'm like, oh man, I wanted to like, all right, I guess I'm his coach. Me and his other dad, like, all right. And his other mom, we had a mom coach. She was the worst. I wanted to kill that fucking lady. She was telling the kids, the way to catch the football, you're catching it wrong. You got to catch it like this. So I'm like, I said, stop. Please stop everything you're saying. I'm teaching these kids. I do the drills where I have them with a pole. There's a pole between them and their hands.
Yeah.
So they put their arms around the pole and you throw them
Yep.
the ball. And that's why there's two forms. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm teaching them that. And then she's like, no, you got to catch a bread basket. Yeah. Of course, you want more of your arm, more body on the ball. I'm like, get this woman off my damn team. And that's not because she's a woman, of course.
Yeah.
It's just that this woman, oh my God, she
Gotta
brought, listen to this. She brought in socks, right? So she brought the whole team these Superman socks. And they had Superman capes on the sides of the socks. So they were knee-high socks. And they had these capes on the side. And the kids, he brought them all in. The kids put them on. I was like, I can't believe this is real. But so the kids loved them. They're running around with the flags. Fly. As soon as we ran on the field, the guy comes over and goes, no way, dude. Like, it's flag football. Like, now you guys have 4 flags floating. It's like, you can't do that because then they grab that flag. You know what I mean? And it's not attack. We can't do it. You got to take the socks off. And she fought it. She made such a scene. I'm like, dude, just put the regular socks on. You didn't ask. And so anyway, I digress. Clearly, I have some work to do. I haven't thought of that woman in a long time. But anyway. Mark Riz, what's up, buddy? Leo Vernacchio checking back in. Thank you, buddy. He says, Tannenbaum the other day was suggesting that we draft a quarterback at 13. He mentioned Hendon Hooker. What is he talking about? Well, Tannenbaum is desperately trying to get what we call clicks and attention. All right. Now, Tannenbaum, for all of his fun, and you cannot take away what he gave us. He gave us some very good years. He got us to the AFC Championship game 2 consecutive years. And you can't take that from him. But make no mistake, the guy's not a personnel guy. He wants to think he is, and he's been a GM, and he's been a president of football operations. So you can't take it. That said, dude, what he says is kind of ridiculous a lot of the time. It's like sometimes I listen to him, and I literally shake my head like I have no idea what he's talking about. None. So I would say it's probably he knows better than anyone. You say something ridiculous about the Jets, you're going to get a whole bunch of looks. Now, right? Now, that said, let's say the Aaron Rodgers trade falls through. It's got to be considered. You have to at least look which quarterback is there. Do we think that this guy can come in with Hackett and do the whole thing? We have lots of receivers. We got a good offensive line. Maybe, just maybe, he's not shell-shocked like Zach, and we can third time is a charm with a first-round quarterback last year. You got to consider it, but I don't think it's real. I think it's highly unlikely. How do you feel about that, Gunny? You agree? Yeah,
there's no way. There's no way there's a quarterback getting drafted with one of our elite picks. Now, if you're talking about like pick, one of our 5th rounders or one of our 6th, okay, cool, got it. Somebody's going to come in, be a camp arm. You know what I'm saying? Got it, 100%. But there is 0 chance the New York Jets are looking at quarterback in this draft with one of our premium picks. 0 chance.
0. Wow, Gunny. Yeah, Gunny.
There's no way. Not to mention this quarterback class, and again, people are going to tell you it's great. It's a mid class. It's a mid class, right? Everybody has question marks at the quarterback position. Every single person. There's no prospect you can look at and think to yourself, "Oh hell yeah, this guy's definitively going to lead my freaking franchise for the next 10 to 15 years." Everyone's coming in with question marks, and I just don't see any scenario. Aaron Rodgers, no Aaron Rodgers. There's no way that they're being considered with any premium pick, a quarterback in this draft. Tannenbaum was just trying to get engagement, and we're probably the one fan base that you can say some off the wall shit, and we're going to give you our feedback. You're going to get your clicks. It's going to happen. We can't help ourselves, and that's what Tannenbaum did with this particular statement.
I mean, look, we're talking about it right now, so here we are.
Exactly.
That's what's happening. Fucking Mike Tannenbaum, he did it. He got us, Leo. But I mean, I won't go as far as Gunny and say 0% chance, but I think it's low. I think it's very, very low. I think it's highly unlikely. We have actual holes. And again, I mean, worst case scenario, Hackett could look at Zach and be like, bro, just give me this kid. Just give me this kid. I'm fine with Zach Wilson. Don't worry about it. I got him. You know? And he's not a head coach. He's the offensive coordinator. So, and he's maybe, and who knows? He's done it before. So who knows? Now, I want to point something out. I see another super chat from Leo. Leo wants that damn trimmer, man. Leo won, what is it, two bags of Liquid IV, a T-shirt. Leo knows, dude. So here we go. Leo, he says, Rodgers could make this so much easier if he could just say I'm playing for 2 years, maybe 3. Why can't he say that? This would help the Jets in negotiations. I believe Rodgers has the last say. Well, here's the thing. So there's a report that came out this week that said that Woody got spooked at the owners' meetings or after Rodgers said he was 90% going to retire, that Woody got spooked. Aaron Rodgers said, I mean, this report is what it is. There's no real proof, right, that said. So just make sure we know that. There's no real proof. It's just somebody saying it. But there is proof of Aaron Rodgers going on McAfee and saying the Packers are holding up this trade. So he said they're the ones that changed. So maybe it's Woody. I don't know. But again, Woody said he's willing to pay whatever the hell Joe Douglas wants. Just get me the deal. I don't give a shit. Biggest name, biggest money. I don't care. I'm going to pay it. So why would he then go, wait, I don't want to pay? So I think to answer your question, number one, the foundation for it, that Aaron Rodgers, whether he plays 1 or 3 years, has bearing on the Jets side of things, only pertains to the idea that if he doesn't play, they want something back. Like, we're willing to give you X, but we got to get this back if he doesn't play. You still get the pick, but we just want this. It seems realistic to me. I think the Packers are being little babies about it, quite frankly, if that's accurate, right? So again, we have some proof, at least, Aaron Rodgers, who's intimately involved in this, said it's the Packers that are holding up the trade. Now it's all quieted down, and now we think it's Woody. So I don't know. But maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to say that because he doesn't know if he wants to play more than 1 year. Maybe he comes to the Jets. Think about it, guys. He's been on the Packers for, 18 years? Right? Is that what it is? Something like that. 18 years? He's been in one place for 18 years. He's now going to go to the Jets, who historically are not very good, okay? Locking himself into this for 3 years, I mean, just from an emotionless standpoint, just logic, doesn't seem like the smartest move. Let me see if I even fucking like it down there. I mean, I hate New York. Maybe Connor Hughes makes me feel yucky inside. Who knows? And by the way, Connor will be back with us next week on the Thursday Thick of It for his comeback when he couldn't make our show that night, that the whole Aaron Rodgers thing was kind of breaking. We thought that the trade might happen and everything, so he couldn't make it. He is now going to be with us next week, but who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers comes down here. He don't like Connor Hughes. You don't like Rich Simeon. You don't like it. He doesn't like these guys. He wants to go. So you got to factor that stuff in. He doesn't want to commit. And look, man, we know what we're dealing with. We went for Aaron Rodgers. This is what comes. This is what comes with the package. He does this. This is why a lot of Packers fans, quite frankly, are tired of him, especially because they're spoiled brats and they don't know what it's like to have a bad quarterback for the last 35 years. They don't understand what it's like. That, hey, you got to wait a month for him to make a decision. That's nothing. They think it's the worst thing in the world. So again, Leo, I don't see Aaron Rodgers coming out and saying anything like that. I think it weakens Joe Douglas's position, actually, to get something back. Like Joe Douglas is probably the one that put out that 1 year shit. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play for 2 years no matter what. That's my thoughts on it, because he's going to love it here. And Connor Hughes is going to make him feel warm and fuzzy, just like we are. But I think Joe Douglas put that out there, like one and done, one and done, one and done. so he could get that pick back, and that's smart, and he'll wait it out. Now, I have a quote to go with this, Gunny. I want to show you something. But thank you, Leo. You are the man, my friend, and I don't mind you winning every week. I don't give a shit. If that's what you do, you win it, baby. That's the way it goes. Now, before I see Salty Nuts has one in there, I'll get that going in just a second. I want to show you guys something. This is McAfee is saying this. Let's see what he says here. I didn't open it yet. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me find it. And there it is. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you guys this quote. It's interesting. I want to hear what you think about this, Gunny. So here we go. This is what I think it's McAfee saying this. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me make sure. Yeah, this is a McAfee article. Oh, I'm sorry. On the McAfee show, it's ESPN's Mike Greenberg. This is what he said. I've heard that Aaron has sent signals to the Jets that there's no reason for them to rush, that he's not coming until May anyway. Like, there's no reason to get crazy. So they're not missing out on anything right now. So they should hold out as long as it takes. And that ultimately they won't wind up having to trade the 13th pick in the draft, which is what I think is this ultimately comes down to. So what do you think about that? You think Aaron Rodgers has kind of told him, like, bro, at least I'm coming. Like, we just got to get them to they'll let go. They're not going to pay me $60 million to sit on their bench and ruin the whole thing with Jordan Love and all that kind of stuff. They're not going to do it. Just hold out. I'm in no rush. Don't be in any rush. We're good. And this way, Joe Douglas can use 13, 42, 43 and then say, yeah, sure, I'll give you a first next year when we win the Super Bowl and it's pick 32, which is worse, way worse. So, number one, you think this has any real bearing here and any merit? And what do you think about what's said here, if it is true?
No, I don't. I look at this and I don't see anything that really makes me feel like there's validity to it. I'm on record as saying I think the trade's already been done. I think that the holdup right now is draft night. Whether or not there's going to be a player that the Packers are currently keeping an eye on that they really are in love with and would like to swap first-round picks, so 13 for 15, to get their guy. If their guy is not there, then they're going to go ahead and settle for the 42nd overall pick this year and a conditional third next year that can become a first. I do believe wholeheartedly that it's already been decided. I say this because I go back to the Joe Douglas interview where he says he's going to be here. I'm sorry. If any of us have been watching Joe Douglas, we've been seeing this man operate. This is not a guy who has spit any kind of hyperbole out to the fan base. He just hasn't. He hasn't said anything that hasn't been factual or him giving like he does. He didn't tell us OBJ was coming. Never told us that was going to happen. Obviously, it didn't happen, right?
Right.
Like he doesn't. How do you put it? He doesn't.
Hey, did I just lose? Oh,
Sorry
there you
about
go.
that. No, my bad.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought I got
doesn't-
kicked off the internet. I was like, oh, shit.
No. That's me. He doesn't telegraph his plays. He just doesn't do it. So for me, for him to be that confident and that bold as to go ahead and state that live in front of a group of individuals on WFAN, it's done. The trade's done. Like in the words of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax. It's done. I don't think this matters. I agree, though. I don't think Aaron was going to be showing up, for voluntary workouts or voluntary OTAs. It was always going to be mandatory minicamp. He'll be showing up, which is going to be in May, which is fine. But I do think ultimately it's already done. It's not announced because they can't tell you which package is being utilized. Is it going to be the one with the first, the pick swap in the first? A second, and then a conditional whatever next year, if any of that. Like, it's done. There's no way Joe Douglas, if anybody has been watching,
Right.
is going to sit there. The man literally said, "Oh, yo, he's coming," confident
He's gonna
that
be.
he would say that,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, like without it already being solidified. So I'm not worried about the Aaron Rodgers. And if for some reason they want to go ahead and wait till after the draft, even better. I think that favors the Jets. I'd be happy if that's the case. But there's no way the Packers are going to allow themselves to get no compensation for this year to analyze whether or not Jordan Love is that guy. So that's why I know for a fact it's happening. During, I think the first, we're going to get the word day one or day two. If day one we don't hear about it, that means they're going to announce it on the day two pick. It's just, I'm not worried about it. I don't think any of us should worry about it. Joe Douglas made me feel 10 times better about the situation when he publicly stated Aaron Rodgers was coming here.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I have to admit, guys, like I get a lot of DMs, right? I get DMs and emails and everything. And then I get comments under shit that I post and everything. I am not, I've said to two people just today too. I disagree with you 100%. Like I'm exactly the opposite. When people say like Joe Douglas is making a huge mistake, like he's being played a fool and he can't play poker, he's got no poker fit. I'm like, I have no concerns. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe at the end we're fucking trotting Zach Wilson with Tim Boyle as his backup. All right, then I'll stand corrected. All right. Anything can happen, but I honestly have zero concern that Aaron Rodgers, if it's May, if it's September, he's gonna be here. Like that's how I feel. The Packers would be fools to pay him $60 million to be their backup. And if he comes and starts, they're gonna mess up the whole Jordan Love plan. He's gonna want to bounce and the whole thing. And then you got split team and why God forbid Jordan Love comes out with Aaron Rodgers as a backup and looks rough for a couple weeks or something like that. The team's going to divide the whole thing. It's just, there's so many levels to it. And then they didn't get picks. Like it's just crazy to me that they would do that. Now maybe they will, but to me, Joe Douglas is playing this perfect. He's saying, bro, Green Bay thinks that they're the big bad Green Bay Packers and they're going to kick the little Jets around, and it's not happening anymore. It's not that way. And we're going to stand right here. Aaron Rodgers has already said on air publicly, I want to play for the New York Jets. Dude, the capital is all there. We have it. And again, it's not the Packers have no leverage. Of course, we're going to pay him something.
Yeah.
Of course. But I think the idea of like giving them like, I think what I heard was like, we're offering a third this year, a first next year, and some sort of pick if he doesn't play. So think about it. Let's say he comes here for 1 year. They get a third and a first. And then maybe we get a fourth back or whatever the hell it is, a third. Right. Like, dude, they're getting a first round pick. Like I don't know. It seems to me like, dude, just end it. But then, like you said, maybe it's, and we talked about this last week. It's very possible this is just the maximum, impact that the NFL can squeeze out of this one. And that's what's going on. We're just waiting like that. It's done. It's already done. And it's all drama right now. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that. The Jets are on the clock. Do-do-do-do. Right? That's the way it's going to go. Now, I want to comment. I see a few more super chats. Salty Nuts, you are up next. I want to just say Eric had a thing here real quick. I think I lost it, Eric. He was yelling at me about the offensive line. I will say this about the offensive line. Like, look, I'm not saying Zach Wilson sucks, okay? I'm not. I'm saying Zach Wilson is clearly knocked off his beam. All right. He is not okay, dude. The fact that he can't find open receivers, or when he does, he throws it 10 yards over their head or into the dirt. Those are all things he can do easily. He's in here. It's called the yips. He's got happy. He's running backwards. And like, what quarterback runs backwards? Numerous times. It happens every now and again, but he was doing it multiple times a game. Something's wrong with here. And a lot of that comes from the inconsistency of our offensive line. The first 6 games of the 2021 season, our offensive line was atrocious. They were confused. They were learning the new system, the whole thing. Mekhi Becton goes down. Now George Fant went from left to right to left. There was a lot going on. They settled down and they played better as the season went on. But that shit, that impacts you. And then all the injuries to the offensive line last year, it's like there's a lot going on there, and that absolutely impacts it. That said, there are lots of quarterbacks that their offensive line sucks and they figure out a way to play. I mean, they can still play football. You know what I mean? Zach, he lost it, man. And he's super young and he's coming from Utah and he's in New York. And there's a lot of factors. People telling him to kill himself, texting his mom. Like there's a lot of layers here. And I think I'm not out on Zach. I just find it hard to buy that it's going to turn around. I'm rooting for it. I am. The Jets want to do it. Hey, man, more power to him. I don't love that he's the number 2. If that still holds, I think Tim Boyle's probably going to be the real number 2, and that would make me happy. I think Zach, if they're going to do a developmental year for him, just put him as the 3, man. Emergency. If he needs to come in, he comes in. If the bottom falls out. But Yeah, man. I think offensive line is key. And then obviously having people to throw to that can catch would be another one. But we have that. We have that in spades. So Salty Nuts checking in. I'll get this off there now. Salty Nuts, thank you, buddy. He says, slam that like button, everybody. That's right. Give me the old milk thumbs. Don't forget to do that. It helps the channel grow, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I do want to remind you of our sponsor, Manscaped. We're giving away the Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, which is April, everybody. This is the month that we are talking about our balls. You notice, I want to point something out. You notice there's a lot less people wearing the purple for the testicles than there is the pink for the boobies. What does that tell you, Gunny? I think we care a little bit more about boobs than we do about our little.
Let's be honest. We all love a nice boob. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest about it.
Well, right. Well, Manscaped is trying to change that. Now, whether or not it ever sticks like our balls to our thighs, I don't know. But they're trying. And no matter how you slice it, they're going to donate a lot of the proceeds this month to testicular cancer awareness and research and treatment. So, guys, it's a great company to support. You can get 20% off by using promo code GreenBean. And tonight, we're giving this guy away right here, limited edition. All you got to do is $4.99 and up super chats. You are entered to win. Thank you, Salty Nuts. And that like button is all important, and we got to do it. Joe M checking in. What's up, buddy? He says, how about a late round quarterback? If so, who do you think would fit? You got your eyes on it? I mean, you know, it's funny. I've looked at the quarterbacks, but I've kind of looked at the top. There's a few guys in the back end. You have any guys that you're looking at, Gunnies? You know, maybe in the sixth. Maybe we take a flyer on a developmental guy.
The dude, is it Stetson? I always mess up his name. Stetson. He just won. Yeah. Stetson. He just won. You know what I'm saying? The championship. Yeah, I would take a late flyer on that kid. I think somebody who we already know is played at the highest level. He's won at the highest level. Right now I'm looking at it, I'm seeing everywhere he's a 5th, 6th round kind of a guy. That's somebody that I would be okay with bringing in. Again, he may not have all of the physical tools you're looking for, but this is a guy who understands how to compete. He's a little bit older as well, so he's got a little of that leadership ability to him. He could go ahead and bring some value in how to operate and function in big games, how to go ahead and quiet the pressure. Something that we all know that Zach Wilson right now has struggled with and would need the assistance in learning. So if you're going to bring somebody in late rounds that can go ahead and play ball, why not bring somebody who can also be, you know what I'm saying, another person to go ahead and bounce ideas off of with Zach. So again, the end goal right now with an Aaron Rodgers coming in and bringing in somebody else would be hopefully they can go ahead and fix Zach mentally. Because the issue with Zach is mentally. It's not physical, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mental. So I think that Stetson is the guy that I would bring in because he's going to be a late round guy who's won at the highest level, been on the big stage, and he still performed. And the kid was just fun to watch in the national championship game. So a guy that I would be comfortable with bringing in just based off of where he'd be available for us to pick.
Yeah. Now, let me comment on something going in the chat. There's a lot of people that are upset in the chat. You guys are arguing and stuff. I'm going to tell you can block people in the chat. If there's somebody that's rubbing you the wrong way, just block them. You'll never see their posts again. You can mute them, right? Jeremy, am I wrong here? Isn't that in the post? Let me bring Jeremy on. How do you know how to do that, Jeremy? How do you do it? Jeremy, Jets Chaos, everybody.
So, how do you? How's everybody? You just go move your cursor. Well, if you're on a computer, you move your cursor onto that name. 3 little dots go appear to the very far right. If you click on those 3 dots, it'll give you the opportunity that you could just block the user and not see their comments. On the phone, I think you just have to literally push them. Put your finger and just select that person and hold it down, and it'll give you the selection to block them. And you don't have to listen to that person ever again.
There you go. It's as if they don't exist. And then you're like, why the hell are they talking about that guy? He doesn't even real. He's not even here. And then you'll know. Holy shit, it worked. There are people. I've never blocked anyone. I want to hear every ridiculous thing that you guys say. I swear to God, I love it. Clearly I can't read every comment, which is why it's so great to have Jeremy here. He reads them all. But I think you do anyway. Don't even tell me if you don't. Yeah, you try. Okay, there you go. Well, good enough, man. Good enough.
But if I miss it, Watu-K99 picks it up. So
yeah, Watu-K, who is now in the house, by the way. I said he wasn't here before. He's here now. He comes on. Let's just say hello to Watu, just so we can see him, and I'll get you guys off. And Watu-K is going to bring the trivia. Let's say hello. How's he? Hey, look, there he is. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing tonight?
I think we're okay. I think we're doing all right. What time is it? Holy shit, it's 9:30?
9:30 Eastern.
Dude, let me tell you something. In my brain, it was maybe 8:40. I'm telling you, man. I was like, I got 3 more hours left in me, baby.
Again, huge spin from before the show when we were talking. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
I know.
these
Now
people
I'm
really
ready to
get you
go all
going.
night.
Yeah, they
There's
get you
something about
going.
the camera. You just you just hit that goal line button, and boom, just that pump of adrenaline.
And then GreenBean appears. I know. I was another guy. I was who I really am before. I was like, rah, stomping around, kicking doors, that kind of shit. I didn't really kick any doors. I'm just for emphasis. But all right, so yeah, we'll bring Y2K on in a little bit, man. We're gonna have to get you on here quicker, do some trivia, and Jeremy will come on too, and we'll make sure we see his hands. He likes to cheat, so we do that. All right, guys, good to see you. Thank you. We'll get you on in a second. There they go. Oh, I almost pushed Gunny off. There he goes. Y2K is in the house. So let's see. We got some more super chats here. Lord Supreme checking in. He says, JD is Jigsaw from Saw. You want to play a game? That's right, man. JD's a badass, dude. Like, make no mistake. I mean, look, people, we just have like the Elijah Moore trade, right? That's one people are talking about. And look, if Elijah Moore ends up going to Cleveland and being a stud, which he very well could, it could be what's considered JD's first like kind of bad trade. We got good value for him and everything, but if he's asking to be traded, man, like you got to get those guys off the team. You can't just keep poisoning here because you spent money on it. You know what I mean? Like you thought you were buying Pepsi, it turned out that it's arsenic, but I paid $8 for it, so I want it. No, you got to get rid of it. I'm just gonna drink it, man. Screw it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pass it around to the whole family. We're all gonna drink it. So you got to do that. It is what it is. Fuck another one. It is what it is. But you can't get too cute. But I think overall, dude, JD has proven that he's a shrewd negotiator. He knows what he's doing. He's emotionless as far as this goes. He just does what needs to be done. He's analytical. He's by the book, so to speak. And he's going to hold firm, and he's going to get what he wants. I mean, look, and that's not to say he's not going to pay. He's going to pay. You got to pay for things that are of value. He's going to pay. But I agree. I think JD is Jigsaw from Saw. That's a good analogy, man. Jets Cubby checking in. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. He says, what's up, man? It's me still on the ledge waiting for this to fall through. If it doesn't happen before the draft, does Aaron Rodgers show up to Green Bay minicamp? Well, he never shows up for the camps anyway. He only shows up for voluntary. For mandatories. So, no, I don't think he would show up. But, look, Gunny, you're very confident with the, the idea that it's already done and everything. Yeah. But is there a little voice in the back of your head like Cubby here is saying, man, it's like you can't – we're Jets fans. We've been through the ringer. You got to admit we're a little PTSD. We got a little bit of baggage. A little voice in the back of your head like, mother, this better not fall through, man. Is there somebody whispering in your ear over there?
Yeah. So I won't pretend like there isn't a fear factor of it, right? Like at the end of the day, the PTSD is real. We've been, like stifled before in times past. So it's not as if like it hasn't happened to us before. But I think in this situation, I keep trying to remind myself that this is not the same old Jets. Like we're talking about a front office that has people wanting to come here, a front office that had, the likes of OBJ calling them, hoping that they would match the amount he was getting or come close to it, so he could become a Jet, vice going to the Ravens, right? Like in times past, we wouldn't have gotten that courtesy. This is a front office where teams are overpaying to get free agents while we're not, right? Like there's a big difference in terms of where we've been to what we're becoming. Some will tell you that, we missed out on OBJ or we missed out on Calais Campbell. Then you look at the contracts and you're like, no, we didn't. Those guys had to overpay to make sure those guys went to them, vice come to us.
That's right. And that used to be us.
And it used to be us. It used to be vice versa. So yes, of course, anything can happen, right? Any given Sunday, there's a chance that Aaron Rodgers wakes up tomorrow and he just thought, like, you know what? I'm sorry, Packers fans. Sure, I'll play another year here, whatever the case might be. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but I would be willing to gamble my mortgage that doesn't happen. I just don't think in any scenario he is going to play for the Green Bay Packers again. And their hope is that maybe he'll just freaking retire. He's not retiring. He's not going to leave $103 million on the table just because to appease or help out that front office, which in essence is what he would be doing if he chose to retire. And there's a little bit of vindictiveness in an Aaron Rodgers. To answer the question, it wouldn't surprise me if he did show up to Green Bay minicamp. Why? Because nobody would care what they were doing in minicamp. It would be, hey, Aaron Rodgers, do you think you're still going to the Jets? It would be a shit show. And to me, right now, to take away from your young quarterback you're trying to evaluate by having it all about Aaron Rodgers and why he's not going to be starting quarterback, imagine the distraction that has and takes away from not just the team, from that particular quarterback's confidence when every question he's going to be dealing with, are you worried that Aaron Rodgers is going to take your job even though he wants to go somewhere? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I would hope Aaron Rodgers does show up at GreenBean minicamp. Just because I think that would cause more chaos. It would just be chaotic. And I think that would be in our benefit if he does.
Dude, especially if he's pissed off about it.
Yes.
He can go there and like rock the boat, dude. He can be the biggest, stick in the spokes. Like, you can't have it, man. And like people like Bakhtiari talking about the GM saving his job by keeping Aaron Rodgers and paying him $60 million. Dude, I've never heard such an asinine approach. Never. It makes the shit that's said in the chat by Jets Forever sometimes.
Seems genius.
It seems like genius. Like Jets Forever kind of is. He's a savant in many ways.
He knows the unknown.
Yeah, but I don't know, Cubby. I mean, look, I get it. I do. I get it. I truly do. I can't lie and say that I don't have that little guy on my shoulder like you, dude. I don't know how the hell you're so confident, man. This is Jets. I got that guy, but I've seen enough to believe, and I'm choosing to believe. That's a choice, Cubby.
It is
a choice.
Yes,
I'm just choosing to believe. Fuck it. I want to point out too. I just decided to look up, guys. We're giving this away. All these guys are getting entered to win. This is a limited edition. This product is an $85 product. It's actually $89. It's on sale right now for $84.99. But with GreenBean's thing, you get another 20% off on top of that. But this one right here, we're giving you an $85 product for free.
That's awesome.
Well, kind of for free. So you got to do a $5 super chat. But so if you want to get in, we got maybe, I don't know, a half hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours left of the show, depending on how it goes. Yeah, if you want to get in on that, man, this is a big night, man. And we're going to give away a GreenBean t-shirt too. So anyway, if you want to get in on that, now's the time to do it. Leo checking back in. The media drives me nuts. How the hell are we trading for D-Hop? That's so thank you, Leo, because I want to talk about D-Hop, damn it. I can't believe it's already late. I get my vape. I can't believe it. The D-Hop thing, he says he would love to get him, but how? Unless he gets released, but it comes down to money. Can we? Now, let me say this. Number one, if he is going to get released, like if they're just not able to get a deal done, D-Hop is already on record as saying he's willing to rework his contract. He understands that it's potentially prohibitive and that he's willing to rework it. Now, that was before a wide receiver that hasn't played in a year and a half got 15 guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Unbelievable.
I know. The Ravens just, I don't know what happened to them, man. They were kind of cool and collected. They're really having a rough offseason, at least as far as contracts and stuff, because Ozzie ain't there anymore, man. You know what I mean?
And it shows. It's
starting to show a little bit, even though their drafts have been excellent. So you got it all grain of salt. But if he's willing to rework his contract and they can't get a trade done, and Joe Douglas says, "Hey, look, dude, you're not going to get anything. You're going to release him. I'll give you a 6 next year, and go ahead and send him over, and we'll deal with the contract stuff." He could pull it off that way, and then you get him down to the 14. I mean, look, if they're willing to whatever, you get him, you give him an extension, you give the void years, you do the whole thing that everybody does, and you give him the money up front, and you lower it, give him the lump sum up front for the motivation to lower it, and then everybody's happy. And look, the truth is, Leo, is the cap is going to go up exponentially, but they also say that like with this new TV deal coming, that the salary cap could balloon in the next year or two. So hey, man, if the Jets know that, like, dude, spend it, rework it, get it all into those years when you think that the salary cap's going to explode, and then it's nothing. So that's how they're going to do it, Leo. I'd be lying if I told you I had any clue on how they do that, because I can barely count to 6, man. It's the truth. If you guys want to see, I'll show you something. Here, I'm going to try to find it. Well, I'll move on to Gunny and let him answer this a little bit, see if he has a different take and I'm going to find you guys something that shows just how stupid I really am. This kind of guy I am. I want you to know how dumb I really am when it comes to numbers. We'll try to get it. But Gunny, what do you think? I mean, is the D-Hop thing realistic? Is it being made by the media? Is it aggravating? Where do you stand on D-Hop? And would you want him if we could?
I personally think it's just one of those things where the OBJ thing was very real, was confirmed, that they just naturally transition to the next person available in this particular scenario. D-Hop does fit a huge need, him as wide receiver 2 in this offense next to Garrett Wilson. My gosh. And you got freaking a guy like Aaron Rodgers as the wide receiver 3, McCall Harbor. This wide receiver room is easily a top 5 unit on paper with a guy like D-Hop in the building. Now, would I love to get him? Yes, 100%. I think, believe it or not, I prefer D-Hop over OBJ. Like the hype about OBJ, having done nothing in the league since 2019 of worth. The guy hasn't had more than 40 receptions in 2019. People forget that what makes OBJ special is his athleticism and his speed. This is a guy who's now 31 years old, post 2 ACL surgeries. You don't just get faster as you get older. That's not how that works. Right. So for me, I was hesitant about it, but at the right price, I figured, you know what, it won't hurt to have him as, wide receiver 2.5 maybe. So at 15 million guaranteed, I would have been roasting JD for weeks had that been us getting that contract, let alone every other fan base and sports media market. So for me, I think D-Hop is worth that range of that 10 to 15 mil if that's the price it takes to get him into the building. I don't know how I feel about trading an asset for him. I do believe that Cardinals are probably going to release him right now as they're going straight into a rebuild mode. So if it's possible, yes, if we can get him for anywhere from 10 to 13 million dollars a year, I'm on board. For 2 years, I think D-Hop next to Garrett Wilson is going to be terrifying for defenses. Do I think it happens? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to happen. I think at the end of the day, we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. They like what we have currently in the wide receiver room. Corey Davis will most likely wind up staying on this roster, which still gives us a very potent offensive wide receiver room. And let's not forget, we also have guys like Breece Hall that can catch, Michael Carter that can catch.
Our tight ends
that can catch.
Right.
So, people keep freaking out about this whole, oh, my God, we need a wide receiver. We literally have other pass-catching weapons that can eat in this offense with Aaron Rodgers getting them the ball. I don't think it's going to actually happen, but I am not going to be upset if it does. I think that's just, if it happens, it just shows that there's only one focus from our front office, and that is Super Bowl by any means, and there will be no excuses on the table. We're putting everything up front. Right. We're going for it right now. No excuses. We got studs in cornerbacks, studs at wide receivers, studs at edge who we don't got to pay for a few years. We're going all out right now to go ahead and make it happen. That's the only way I see it happening, but I don't think it does. I don't think we get D-Hop at the end of the day.
Yeah. Now, and E-Boogie, I see that, I'm going to put yours up there in just a second, but just Loopy I always want to say Loopy, man. Luppy OU812, he's talking about the same thing. So I want to just say, now, if we don't go after D-Hop, who do you think we do? Is there another wide receiver out there, Gunny, that you got your eyes on?
Yeah.
I mean,
Randall Cobb easily fits the slot mold. Let's be honest. He's still out there, right? Aaron Rodgers has rapport with him. He was rumored to be somebody we're interested in for a little while now. He's going to be cheap. I think Randall Cobb is the easy answer here. And you can still keep a guy like Corey Davis. And then now you're talking about not a top 5 guy, like top 5 room if you were to add a D-Hop, but legitimately a top 10 room if you add a guy like Randall Cobb with potential to be in the top 5 conversation. Again, I think Randall Cobb coming in here, understanding this offense, understanding Aaron Rodgers' tendencies, he can be an immediate impact and kind of like coaching along guys like Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, along with Allen Lazard, of course, being able to speak as to what Aaron likes, what he dislikes. These are the signals he's going to give you to do this, that, and the other. It gives those guys a bit of a head start. So there's value there both in his intellect in the offense and his experience playing with the quarterback. And, of course, put him in the slot. Randall Cobb is, I think, 31 years old now, and I promise you he will not cost us $15 million guaranteed.
No, he's going to be a little bit less.
And he had more catches last year than OBJ, too. Just throwing it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, so did I. I was tied with him. I was tied with OBJ. Now, let me just show you this. E-Boogie, you're up next, but I'm going to show you guys something. This is how bad I am with numbers. This is on the channel that you're all watching right now. If you guys don't check out my shorts, it's my firm belief that you should What is this? Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Because boy, oh boy, am I a funny guy. All right, here we go. This is how bad I am with numbers. All right, check it out. Pick was not a good one. We called him the ghost because he did nothing. But 2008 was the last time that we went in there and said we need an edge rusher, and we took Vernon Golson with the 6th overall pick, and that would make this 3. 17 years. And I was still wrong. 17 years. We really took a shot at addressing the edge rusher, pass rusher position. There it is. All right. I can't do it, dude. It's on my, like, what am I even talking about anymore? So anyway, there it is. That's how bad I am, guys. E-Boogie, my good buddy, checking in. He says, hey, fellas, who do you think will be the next cut? So as we know, we cut Braden Mann today. Many Jets fans are smoking up. As if you smoke them, they're smoking them tonight because they don't want Braden Mann, and he's gone. We got Morstead in the house. Any inclinations on who the next cut might be?
Yeah, like in all actuality, I was really under the impression originally, like guys like Carl Lawson, Corey Davis were on the chopping block. I now know for a fact that Carl Lawson isn't going anywhere. He'll be a Jet next year. We're going to see how he looks 2 years removed from the surgery. I thought Corey Davis was potentially a cut candidate, but I really don't see that happening unless you bring in a guy like D-Hop. But I still believe he's somehow included in the trade to the Packers, and there's a plan B in terms of, replacement for him if that happens. But honestly, there's 2 guys that I think potentially are gone, and I'm surprised they haven't been cut yet. I think Ashton Davis, his days are numbered, and Jimmy Moreland as well, right? Another individual on the roster right now who's been taking up space at the cornerback position, and I just don't see the need for either of these 2 individuals to be on the roster in terms of the play that we've seen from these guys. So, I think Ashton Davis more likely than the others. But, I think Ashton Davis potentially is somebody we can go ahead and say will not be in a Jets uniform next year, if I had to go ahead and give you my answer right now.
Ashton Davis, you know what's funny? Depending on what we do in the draft, in a similar mindset to you, different player, but I'm not convinced that Jordan Whitehead is safe. I'm just not. Now, I'm not saying I think he's going to get cut, but I'm not convinced he's safe. Like Robert Saleh came out and said, Carl Lawson's going to be here till he can't walk.
Yep.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That means, dude, they're in love with Carl Lawson. And, don't forget, he's got a lot of intangibles, too. He's got the leadership thing.
Yes.
He's got all that. He's a whole package kind of guy. And he had his second best year last year. And that's one year.
7 sacks.
Yeah, man. And all kinds of pressures and hurries and holds. Yeah. And, he was all over the place. And that's, the rule of thumb, the general's thinking is that second year off the Achilles, like you mentioned, Gunny, is really when they start to hit their stride. So, hey, man, why would you let him go now? But I'm surprised they didn't restructure or do something with him. He's a big old-fashioned bag of money. And I don't know. I thought, but there's still guys like even I don't want to say CJ Moses is going to get cut, but like when September comes for him getting restructuring that. And there's still a lot of stuff that we can do. But Jordan Whitehead, Ashton Davis, those types of guys, some lower rung. There's a whole bunch of guys on the roster that if I showed you, you'd be like, who are these guys? A lot of those guys can get cut.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it really depends on what we do in the draft and who we're able to get to gather up post-draft free agency as well. That's a big one. So interesting. E-Boogie with another one here. Hey, fellas, after the season, Zach Wilson had, can you really rebound? Wait. Oh, okay. All right. After the season, Zach Wilson had, that's an inadvertent comma.
Yeah.
I got it. Confused me.
It happens.
I pay very close attention to, all that stuff here, Gunny. Zach Wilson, can you really rebound after the mental breakdown? Well, I think, yeah, anything's possible. Is it likely? Maybe not. Once somebody gets the yips, it's very, very difficult, especially at quarterback, and especially at quarterback in New York.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But they're doing it the right way. They're pulling him and they're putting him on the back burner so a new offensive coordinator can work with him. I mean, Calabrese, who's still here, he was a first-time guy. LaFleur, first-time offensive coordinator. Clearly they didn't do Zach any favors, right, man? I mean, I think we could say that. Then you had the offensive line woes and all the stuff. There's lots of reasons. So I think it's possible. Yeah, I mean, unlikely maybe, but possible. What do you think, Gutty? Do you think it's a good shot that Zach comes back, or you have low hopes?
If I had to put percentages on him coming back, because the question really here is if it's the speed of the game is too fast for him. We've seen this before. You can't catch up. Like, the speed is just too much. If the speed of the NFL is too much for you, those guys don't make it in the league. But we've seen Zach Wilson have some good plays. We've seen him where he made it look almost too easy. The things he's messing up on are the easy stuff, like the easy screen passes. And to me, I have a hard time believing that is not fixable. But man, like you said, when it's footwork, you can fix footwork, right? You can go ahead and do the repetition and whatnot, fix that. Mental, it's all about his mental aptitude. I can say this. We saw him have to overcome, the losing his starting job at BYU before. We saw him have to overcome that and rise to the challenge, and of course become a top draft pick in the NFL. And it wasn't just the Jets who wanted freaking Zach Wilson at number 2. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh my God, no!" It wasn't just the Jets, right? He was consistently across the board in that conversation with Trevor Lawrence as the top draft pick against all sports media outlets. So it's just funny to me that as Jets fans now, we're like, oh, only we would pick the freaking scrub. That means a lot of people would have picked the scrub then, if that's the case. So for me, I want to say if I had to put a percentage on it, I'm going to go 40% chance he could potentially rebound if, in fact, it is the mental. If it's the speed of the game, then no, he's done. He's cooked. If it's the speed of the game that's gotten to him to where like he can't do the simple things, then he's cooked. But if it is just mental because of a confidence thing, and I think, like, again, this is New York. We are not the easiest fan base to fuck up in front of. Let's just be honest. We are not.
Yeah,
we
we're a
are
little touchy.
savages. We're savages. And it's gotten to the point where it took years to admit to myself that we are probably one of the most savage fan bases, but I teeter that to the fact that we're a very passionate fan base.
Right.
Because we're so passionate, we're savage with it. So because of that, I feel like if the speed is too much for him, he's done. He's cooked. If it's a mental thing, I'm going to give him 40% only because he doesn't have a lot of rope to hang himself with when it comes to us. Like, he's going to have a couple more. Even if the Aaron Rodgers situation is a success, we go to the Super Bowl, and then he retires, and then Zach Wilson gets the opportunity to start again because he's now learned behind a GOAT. We are still giving that man 2 games. Hey, Zach, you've got like 2 games to fuck this up.
Right, yeah,
it's a wrap. So I'm going to go with 40%. I think it's 40% if it is mental that he can go ahead and rebound. But if it's the speed of the game that causes those lapses, then the guy's cooked. It's just a matter of us finding the next quarterback post the Aaron Rodgers era.
Yeah. I agree, man. Now, KD, I see you put this comment in the chat probably 44 times, so I'm gonna answer it. I try not to skim by. I mean, like, man, there's a lot of comments, but I'm just gonna answer this show. I don't think we're taking a cornerback in this draft. Now, I said that last draft. But then we took one after signing one in free. Dude, we are so deep at cornerback, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, we have Bryce Hall inactive, and Bryce Hall can start in this league. On teams in this league. Right? Yep. Yeah. I mean, you look at, he had 19 passes defense, and he had his issues and everything in 2021. But even last year in Baltimore, dude, he gave up that touchdown. Go back and look at the. That
was beautiful coverage.
Dude, he is blanketed.
He could do nothing else.
Dude, it's an amazing throw and an amazing catch.
Yes.
You can't penalize the guy for that. I mean, it's just, he's right there. He's a very good cornerback. And he's not even active. So I don't know how much, how many resources we're going to put into that. I think they would take that flyer, like what you're insinuating, that the guys that we want are gone. If they have to take a pick, they're going to reach for need. That's what they'll 100%. Do before they go for a position they're already stocked at.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Right, Connie? That's what I
think. 100%. Yeah, if the offensive tackles on the board that they're aiming for are gone, it wouldn't, and they're trying to trade back and they can't, Don't be shocked if they say, you know what, JMS, congratulations, you're the 13th overall pick, right? I think center is such an important need right now. I think offensive tackle is such an important need that if we lose out on the offensive tackles, where in that particular price point at pick 13 makes the most sense, and they cannot trade back, it does not. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit if they said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to go ahead and get our center right now, and JMS is on the board.
That's it. I agree. Because that's right. I mean, like, then you take the best player available, and then sometimes it's not out of need. But I don't know. I don't see it, buddy. Astamar Darkstar checking in. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. He says, how the Jets win. 1, run the ball. 2, special teams. 3, turnover. Hey, Gunny, what's up? I like how you slid that
What's up, Darkstar? How you doing, brother?
Well, let me ask, since he's throwing you some love, what do you think about that? You think that's the right way to do it? Run the ball, special teams,
100.
turnovers?
In all actuality, call me crazy. I don't want Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. I don't. I would like to see a balanced offensive approach where our quarterback has to make 5 to 10 plays a game to go ahead and ensure the victory. Put the ball in the hands of a Breece Hall. Listen, running backs, their life expectancy in the league is about freaking 6 to 7 years. So let's beat the hell out of our workhorse running back and a guy like a Breece Hall, right? Michael Carter, who wasn't a scrub just a year ago, right? This past year, we're not pleased. The guy can play. We know he can. Before we drafted Breece Hall, we all thought we had running back 1 on the roster. Like, we have a pretty solid running back room. Bam Knight came out of the woodworks last year too, which surprised a lot of us. I think you run the ball down individuals' throats. Our quarterback should throw the ball to go ahead, keep defenses honest, and if he needs to go ahead and pretty much lock in some victories because the running game did such a great job. I'm a big fan of this. I know the NFL currently right now, it's all about passing touchdowns, highlight plays. It's all sexy. It's beautiful. I get it. Having a quarterback that can do it is awesome, a.k.a. Aaron Rodgers. But being able to have that quarterback and not depend on him to do it, I think is even better. Run a game, special teams, defense, win some games. Quarterback does what he has to do whenever he has to do it.
All right. Well, there it is. There you go, Astamar. Now I'm going to tell you something. Getting plus turnover, and now we would do. There was that first half of the season, we had 7 games where we had a turnover. Yep. We haven't seen that in decades, man. So it fell off a cliff. But I think we're on to something. Like, we're starting, right? We started something. I think this defense has a lot of potential. And look, we're keeping the band together, dude. I mean, we lost Nathan Shepard and Sheldon Rankins. Look, we all like Rankins. He's a good player. But, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to say that he was the main cog in the wheel, you know what I mean? Or in the machine, He's a good player, but he can be replaced. You get Kalijah Cansey, Keontae Coburn, Siaki Ika, any of these guys, what's the other guy? Mazzy, Smith.
Yep.
And we're going to be fine. And look, we got Quentin Jefferson, and I think we're fine now. So it's like we're keeping the gang together, man. That includes Carl Lawson, So and obviously Quinnen we're going to work on. But I'm excited about that plus turnover, dude. That's the way to win, dude. I mean, if your defense can turn over the ball and your offense doesn't have the 32nd ranked quarterback, you got a good formula.
You got a really good, and a good shot at winning some games.
That's right. Bad part about it for us is that's exactly what we had. We had the 32nd ranked quarterback play. Now, Dark Soldier, our buddy, checking in. What's up, Soldier? Good to see you, man. He says he has a theory. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. What if Aaron told Woody that he will mention that he was 90% going to retire so they can get him for less? Now we're digging deep. Gunny.
Collusion.
Now, it's right. It's that we're hearing that now. We're hearing collusion. When it's hard to say collusion when the Packers gave us permission to speak with him.
This is true.
So I don't know what this shit is. I mean, what are we not supposed to speak about certain things? I mean, you can only talk French fries, ballroom dancing. It's like, what is this? No, they gave us permission to talk to him. We flew out to California. We spent a couple days with him. They talked about all sorts of stuff, I imagine. I wouldn't say it's impossible, Soldier. But just like Gunny has a theory, I don't know if you heard it, that this is all done. And this is just maximum drama to be done at the draft. They're squeezing every drop out of the lemon. Truth is, I agree. I lean that way, but there's no proof for it. We don't have any proof.
Not.
You know what I mean? Just so your theory is just as valid as ours, man.
But think about it, though, right? One thing I will say is this, right? The Green Bay Packers have done absolutely nothing in the offseason.
Nothing.
Ghosts, silent. But they are the talk of every sports media outlet every single day.
Right.
When they haven't done anything. You know what I'm saying?
Think about that.
That doesn't happen for a small media market like the Green Bay Packers. But yet they've been national news literally since the beginning of the offseason, and they've done absolutely nothing in the offseason.
It's interesting. Now, in their defense, Gunny, they did sign a long snapper, and they signed a backup. They signed a backup safety. So, in their defense.
But I apologize. I'm sorry. I guess they did make some moves, actually.
Yeah, they did. So but it's a great point, So I mean, like, why, and why aren't they making moves? Maybe they are considering spending $60 million on Aaron Rodgers. I mean, who the fuck
This is true.
So there's that. You can entertain that idea, but the other thing is, look, like Gunny said, dude, they are never in the news like this. They're not really the huge move. I mean, last year they traded DeAndre Hopkins, so that but that was up and down real quick. This is, This is being done right if they're looking for maximum income, dude, and that's what's happening. Astamar checking back in. He says, Gunny, it's more Gunny. He loves you, Bram. This is good.
All right. Okay.
Gunny, this is a medium of exchange in which most instances more precious than gold. Microeconomics where everything is based on scarcity. Or time is a medium of exchange, not this. Time is a medium of exchange in which most is a more precious. Yeah, it is more. It's the only thing you can't replenish, man, is time. Right. Unless you do the thing that, unless you believe time is all a construct and it's not real and all. Then there's another thing. Time isn't linear. Then there's a whole other thing, Dark Star, which by your name leads me to believe you might even entertain such subjects. But what do you think, Gunny? Time is a medium. So time is valuable here, man. What's he getting at?
100%. I think he's referring to either one or two things. Either one, the spotlight that the Packers are enjoying by stretching this thing out as much as possible. The amount of time that they're getting from every sports media outlet, every fan base in essence, is precious, right? It's invaluable. So whether it's good or bad, they're embracing it right now, which I would say it's possibly going towards the realm of bad when you're looking at this is one of your all-time greats and you're treating the way you're treating them. Microeconomics where everything is based on scarcity. Now, on scarcity. So I feel like he's referring to the fact that elite quarterbacks are not available everywhere, and this is one of those things where this whole exchange right now is invaluable. There's not many guys like an Aaron Rodgers who are available in trade conversations in the NFL ever, right? These are the kind of guys who they spend their time with one team for the majority of their career and retire as such. So in this case, he is one of those rare, values that you get an opportunity to actually pick up a scarcity, so to speak. So I might be reaching, but I'm just trying to go ahead and connect the dots here. But yeah, in essence, I was one that stated I did not believe this Aaron Rodgers thing was going to be real. The last couple of weeks of the season when you started to hear guys like Buffalo Jets fan, Paul Boy Green talking about like, hey, Aaron Rodgers. I was like, you guys are insane. That's not a real thing. Aaron Rodgers is not leaving the Green Bay Packers to come be a New York Jet. And here we are. Now I'm telling you, like, he's going to be a Jet. Like, I'm 100% confident, like, he's going to be a Jet. Like, it just goes to show you how different in time in this situation could happen in just a very short time frame. So I think I might have hit that right, Dark Star. If I'm wrong, feel free to go ahead and comment on that and correct me. But I think that's the direction you were going with this question or this comment.
Yeah, there you go. I think you're on this. I think you nailed it. And I'm dumb. So there you go. All right. So Heibendal checking in. He just wants this damn beard, this trimmer here. You had the 3.0. I had the 3.0 too, man. I loved that thing. And then I think it made it like 3 years, 3.5, 4, and then it died. And then I got the 4.0, which is I've had that I still have my original 4.0. I got it maybe 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I think it's been about 2 years for me. Yeah.
Yeah, things going strong, man. But yeah, so there you go. Good. I hope you win it, Heibendal. Good luck, buddy. Not to say I don't hope everybody else wins. I hope you all win it. It's going to be great. Who do you want the Jets to take at 13? Optimally, if all goes well, I would really like to see Roderick Jones as our left tackle. I think he's got the most to offer us. I like him in this scheme. And I think he's going to last. He's going to be a star for years. That's the guy I want. I'd be almost as happy with Paris Johnson. Skronsky, I think, is he's got the arms thing. I'm not too worried about it, but I'd be happy with him. I'm really hoping to get a left tackle up there. I just think it's look, Dwayne Brown's going to be gone next year. I'd love to have a guy going into his second year next year, as opposed to scrambling like we need an immediate starter kind of a thing. I think tackle's the way to go. That's what I want. If there are no tackles there, I'd love to see us grab a defensive tackle. That's what I think. But yeah, that's where I'm going with that one, Heibendal. Good luck, buddy. I hope the stars are shining on you, my friend. eBookie says, would you rather have D Hop or Mike Evans or another wide receiver? Who might be on the cheaper? So look, best case scenario, Gunny. D Hop or Mike Evans. All things are equal. Who are you going for?
I ain't gonna lie to you. So I watch Buffalo Jets fan religiously, and he has a man crush for Mike Evans. And in watching his videos and that man's passion for Mike Evans, I now have a man crush for Mike Evans. Ooh. The guy doesn't miss. He doesn't miss. Mike Evans consistently. And I thought he was reaching a little bit, but I should have known better because Buffalo knows his stuff. So I had to go back and look at Mike Evans' stats and realize this dude has had 1,000-yard receiving for him is just pretty much another day in the park. And it doesn't matter who's the quarterback. Every season.
Every season.
The dude is consistent. So Mike Evans was not somebody at first I would have thought, would be high up on my list. But watching the Buffalo Jet fan, he has creeped up so fast on me. I'm like, man, if he became available, I would love it. But there's no way it's going to happen. I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 100% in on pretty much a rebuild yet. Mike Evans is a huge component of those guys' success. So I don't see that being real. Like I said before, I love D-Hop. If D-Hop for the right price is available, I'm even willing to pay him more than we pay an Allen Lazard for a couple of years. Just because him next to a Garrett Wilson, he's a legitimate wide receiver 1B.
Oh, yeah.
2. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a 1B. Like, the wide receiver 2 first would be wide receiver 1B, one on most teams in the NFL. So I would love for D-Hop to be the guy. I'm not a fan of drafting anybody in the first round. A lot of people are talking about like JSN. I'm not a fan of that route at all. So for me, if it's not D-Hop, Mike Evans is not real. Like I said before, I do like Randall Cobb coming in there because of the experience that he has with Aaron Rodgers and understanding this offense, what he brings to the table. And he had more production last year than OBJ. So I'd be on point with bringing in Randall Cobb at a significantly reduced price than $15 million guaranteed. So that would be my direction in terms of shoring up the wide receiver room. But again, for me, I don't think the wide receiver room needs to be freaking a highlight. It's not a need for me, in my opinion. Yeah. I love what our tight ends can do. I love what our running backs can do catching the ball. Maybe it's just me, but if Corey Davis stays here, now we have Corey Davis and Allen Lazard, I think we have a pretty well-rounded wide receiver room, and I'm not even stressing about it. But we're talking about, luxuries here. Give me D-Hop or give me Randall Cobb on the cheap.
There you go. And I'm going to remind everybody, Michael Evans' cap hit this year is $21.39 million.
It ain't cheap.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. $23.6 million. Yeah, that's big, everybody. That's a big one. Okay. That's a big cap hit. It makes D-Hop's contract look like it's manageable. You know what I mean? So, we got to factor that in. So I love Michael Evans. And like you said, or Mike Evans, like you said, every single year from rookie to last year, 1,000 or over. That's, dude, he's going to the Hall of Fame, man. That's what that stuff's about. I mean, that's, he's legit, dude. But D-Hop's a stud. Having D-Hop with Garrett Wilson, with Lazard and Mims and McCole Hardman, dude, as long as we have a quarterback that can see these guys, someone's going to be open every single play. That's the problem. When you have a quarterback that's struggling to read, you got guys open all over the place, and we're getting a sack, or we're watching them run 15 yards back and throw it out of bounds, or try to throw it out of bounds and throw an interception, and that kind of shit. So we got to be careful. Mercy Fate with a big one. What's up, man? Mercy Fate, baby. Yeah! You know what I'm doing. Running backward is worse than a butt fumble, but failing to be a locker room leader and at the podium was a big fail. Hard to bounce back from that as a New York quarterback. It's a great point, man. Dude, let's not forget. I think it was wrong how they did it. I think Saleh should have cut it off at the head the second he saw it. When they all were going to Minnesota and they were wearing Mike F. and white shirts and all that sort of stuff, he should have said, no, we don't do that to our teammates. He didn't. I think that was just a big whiff by Saleh. But The reason for it is that Zach lost the team, everybody. All right, let's not forget that. Zach lost the team. Now, they came back and they were supportive and all that shit. Garrett Wilson led the charge, trying to say, hey, man, we're in Zach's corner too. But the writing was already, the damage was already done. Let me say it that way. And, Garrett Wilson, even all the excitement about Aaron Rodgers, he walked that back a little bit. He said, I was wrong for doing that. I think they're trying to be respectful to Zach. But the truth is, dude, they want to have careers, man. Like, that's what it is. They're working their ass off. They're running around. They're wide open, and the quarterback can't hit them. And that's a problem. And I think that, it is going to be tough, Mercy Fate, for them to walk that back. I mean, it's just, look, but they're doing it the right way. Remove them from the spotlight. Develop them with somebody who's actually got a track record of developing quarterbacks underneath the guy dude, Zach and Aaron Rodgers are actually friends. They talk, they communicate, they're friends. So under Aaron Rodgers with Nathaniel Hackett, backed up from the spotlight, it's the best case scenario. So if it's going to happen, this is the way to do it. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be a toughie. I'll tell you that. And like I said, New York, it's going to be tough, Mercy Fate. But hey, let's root for the kid, right? Let's root for him, man. Knobcraft, formerly Cho Douglas, formerly Knobcraft, is back as Volume 2, the comeback. Now, I don't even know if this is really you, though. That's the thing. Now I'm confused. This could be somebody else. I mean, we have Jets Forever 2. We have, Jets Forever's son. We have Kareem 2 or Kareem Jr., Kareem Sr. So you guys are mean to each other. I don't know why you do that, but I don't know. Maybe Knobcraft, I'm going to take it at face value and think this is you. Would you rather keep Ashton Davis or LaMarcus Joyner? Gunny, I'm going to bounce that to you. What do you think about that?
Man, come on, Knob. That's okay.
Gotta pick one. Who is it?
If I've got a gun to my head and one of them's got to go. Man, it's got to be Joyner. I'm going to bank on the speed and athleticism on Ashton because you can't really teach that. Granted, guy takes horrible angles. The game seems to be too fast for him, but put him on special teams and just chase down somebody to tackle. I think if I had to pick one of these two guys, man, this is a good one, Knob. This is a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joyner purely because he's an older guy. He doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have the level of athleticism he once had. And I'm going to give Ashton an opportunity to go ahead and make a play or two in the season. So if gun to my head, I'm going to go with Joyner. Joyner has to go.
Joyner's got to go, dude. He's old as shit. Yeah. And that's what you got to, he's old as shit. He was injured twice last year. I mean, look, I'm not in love with Ashton Davis.
No, neither am I.
But, I mean, Joyner, dude, he's running around with, brittle bones at this point, man. So you can't do it. Not everybody can play quarterback in the NFL like GreenBean. So we got to remember that. But yeah, I think I'm going to go. I keep Ashton Davis too. He's only going into his 4th year, man. Guys, he's young. He's young. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. So who do we got here? We got a whole bunch of super chats here, Gunny. So I want to make sure that we get them all here. Ezeus checking in. Would you trade back up into the late first round with one of your seconds, Bryce Hall or Mims, and maybe a 4th or a future 3rd? And where would you go? That's a lot there, Ezeus. So, number one, who we trading up for? That's the thing. You got to tell me who's there. You got to dangle the carrot. Let's imagine for a minute. Let's say somebody like last year, Jermaine Johnson, right? He's supposed to be a top 5, top 10 pick. And then he's sitting there in the 20s. You trade up for a guy like that, right? Let's say Jalen Carter or something like that. He's going to fill a need. He slides back. He's at 26. You willing to, one of your seconds and maybe a 4th or we don't have a 3rd. It's got to be a future 3rd, like he said. Maybe a Bryce Hall and your second to go up there and get Jalen Carter. What do you think?
Man, that's not a fair comparison, GreenBean. If Jalen Carter's at 13, I have a hard time of us passing up on him at 13.
Yeah, me too.
As much as I don't like the character issues and I don't like his comment about I'm only talking to individuals in the top 10 picks, if that dude falls to us at 13, I'd have a very hard time, like, honestly, as a football enthusiast and fan saying, like, pass on him. We don't want him. I would struggle. For me, this scenario, yes, if it's Jalen Carter that we're talking about, then yeah, we're talking about Jalen Carter for a late first, 100%. But I would plug in JMS as the scenario for this, because he's not going to be picked at 13. Let's just say we get our offensive tackle. JMS is there at like between pick 20 and 30. Hell yes, I'm trading up if the chance is there to get JMS. I think to have that fifth-year option for your franchise center is invaluable, and this is literally a guy I believe is plug and play. I think you can draft JMS, boom, already know, boom, he's our starter for next year. So that's just it. If it's Jalen Carter, hell yes. But in a situation where I think it's going to really happen, we're talking about JMS potentially being a late first rounder, and we have the ability to go ahead and move in like somebody's interested in making that swap with us, 100%. We come up and get JMS. And I wouldn't hesitate. And I would hope Joe doesn't hesitate either, because now you're talking about your offensive tackle, your center solidified for the next freaking 5 to 6 years. Again, barring injuries or any unforeseen, it seems like a lot of those guys that are in that top conversation are, as some would say, a solid pick, right? These are going to be guys who can at least be starters. That's their floor. And the ceiling, we're talking about Pro Bowlers, potentially all pros. So, yes, Jalen Carter, hell yes. JMS, hell yes. I'm willing to do that. And those would be my two individuals that I feel would be worthwhile trading back up into the first to pick up.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. You know, look, I'm not trading Mims, dude. I'm just not doing it. I'm not going. I'm deep into the Mims thing, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I love Bryce Hall too. But you know, if you're going to get a premium talent and you're talking about jumping up into the first to get it, you're just using your pick, and then all it essentially takes is Bryce Hall. I'm going to do that. I'm not trading Mims. I believe Mims is an absolute stud. I think LaFleur just had an issue with him. LaFleur is responsible for, in my opinion, for Denzel Mims, Zach Wilson, and Elijah Moore. And I mean, like he had a big part in ruining those guys. That's what I think. Now, I've said on many streams, I think LaFleur's play designs are excellent. I mean, I watched so much of the tape and everything afterwards. I mean, dude, guys are schemed open all over the place. He does a good job. But developing players and knowing, proper usage and even like play calling, like, situational awareness, he's a freaking idiot. And there goes Gunny. All right, Gunny's, you getting ready? Doing something, Gunny? I'm going to take you off real quick. I'll put you up when you come back. Jeremy, you want to come on real quick and back it up? Yeah, here comes Jeremy. All right, Jeremy will fill in for Gunny. All right, go. Gunny's back. You back? I don't know what he's doing. You good? All right, Jeremy, thank you. You're the best. I'm going to bring you guys on in a minute, too, because we're getting late. Anyway, but we're going to keep going. But, Jeremy, I love you, buddy.
Love you, too.
All right. See that? That's love. Okay. There he is. Gunny, you good?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. I just want
Don't forget what I told you earlier, though.
Yeah. So you let me know. That's what I'm saying. I was just pushing you off.
I got you.
Yeah. You don't feel pressure, man. You're
no pressure.
Good.
No pressure.
So there it is, Jesus. That's where we are. All right, we got to get to Mike B here. Here he is. Where's Mike B? Where is it? Damn. All right. Mike B checking in. What's up, buddy? I'm here late, so you may have spoke about this already, but do you think they will draft a quarterback late and use the first few rounds for both lines? Well, the quarterback late thing, yeah, we were talking about that. It's interesting. I mean, I think if the quarterback is the best player on the board, like, let's say they hypothetically have somebody as a 5th round pick, and they're, and they're they're in the 6th, and they're looking at like, dude, this is clearly the best guy. I think they might do that. I think they'll probably bring somebody in, a quarterback, undrafted free agent. I think they're going to be looking at that. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's likely, in my opinion. And we were talking about, I think Gunny felt the same way. He said there was a 0% chance, right?
Yeah.
But as far as the line's the first 2 rounds. I mean, I think we might go offensive line the first 2 rounds. Now, if we have 3 picks, if we keep 42 and 43, I think it is a strong possibility that you see offensive tackle, center, and defensive tackle in those picks, because in that position, you're going to have defensive tackles that are still worth taking there. And afterwards, there's a gap, man. And then, you get into the 4th and there's some guys that are worth, but like that gap, you're not going to want to use certain picks on certain guys, of course. And there's a major dearth between the top end of the defensive tackles and what's left. So I don't know, man. I think you very well could see that. I think you might, if we keep all 3 picks, 2 offensive line and a defensive line, I don't think is too far out of the question, man. I really don't. I'd be surprised. I mean, maybe you get a safety, maybe you get a wide receiver or somebody. I don't know, man. What do you think? A defensive tackle getting in the first 2 rounds?
Honestly, unless it's Jalen Carter, I just don't see it. I really think both picks are going to be focused on offensive line. That's just my feeling. Again, maybe Joe's big board is a little bit different from mine. But I don't see a situation where they can walk away. The centers, the interior linemen in this draft are very, very nice. These are starter quality, like interior offensive linemen. If you get your offensive tackle in the first, which I think right now we are all seeing that there's a chance we're going to get one of those top 3 prospects. I struggle to see how we don't go for solidifying the line with a center. We don't have one right now on the roster. In fact, it's the only position we don't have an NFL caliber starter on right now. Yeah, I definitely think that it's going to be offensive line, the first 2 picks of this draft.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, man, there's a potential too. Like if we keep 3 picks, like if let's say Green Bay's just being stubborn and they don't want to do it, let's say that's real, and we keep all 3. I'm telling you, man, I would not, because right there's going to be the Siaki Ikas, there's going to be the Mazzie Smiths, there's PJ Mustafa. I mean, depending on how well they like him, but those guys are going to be there, man. And I think a lot of those guys will fit, man. I really do. So we'll see. Salty Nuts checking in. He's just throwing out some Monday money. Look at this guy. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to hang out Mondays. Here's $5. You're a good man, Salty Nuts. You really are. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Leo checking back in. He says, thank you, Leo. I appreciate it, buddy. I really do. I got to say, might sound silly, but I'm kind of concerned about our running backs. Brees coming back from major injury worries me. Bam is fine. Carter is good, but not every down back. Love to get Kareem Hunt. Now, I will say, Mark Riz checked in. He wants Kareem Hunt, too. Welcome back, Mark Riz. He left and he came back. Nice to have you back. What do you think, Gunny? I mean, are you concerned? I have to admit, I am a little concerned. Like, I think Brees Hall, he looks great, but he might take a few weeks. I love Michael Carter, but he's right. He's not an every down back. Bam Knight had his flashes, but he didn't take over games or anything. Now, in his defense, the end of the year, teams were just putting 8 in the box and saying, let Zach try to beat us. Let these, or a beat up Mike White or a fucking the corpse of Joe Flacco. They didn't care. They were just like, the quarterbacks suck, take away the running game, and we win this game. So that's hard to beat. It really is. And our offensive line was makeshift at that point. They were fine, but they were not good enough to neutralize 8 in the box. So I think, Mike, it's skewed a little bit. But how do you feel? Are you a little bit worried about the running backs? Maybe want to see one taken in the mid rounds?
I think for me, if we're going to address the running back position, yes, I would like to do it in the draft, right? Use one of those 5th rounders. You know what I'm saying, on one of the running backs coming out this year. I think what we need to be honest with ourselves about is our running backs had a challenge that few running backs have to endure. Not only did they not have a quarterback worth a damn, they didn't have an offensive line that was even consistent or held together. So many injuries destroyed our offensive line. There was no continuity. They got literally the average running back last year, I think it was a ridiculous stat that I saw, got the handoff, you know what I'm saying, with negative 1.7 yards of penetration from the defensive line. That's very difficult to run on when your offensive line is giving that up. So I do think that Bam and Carter really potentially right now we're a lot harder on them because they didn't do what Brees did. But let's be honest, there's not a lot of running backs in the NFL right now when starting teams that can do what Brees did last year. The guy was leading the NFL in rushing 3 weeks after his injury. That's special. That is special. And I think that's the thing, right? Like I think that Kareem Hunt, he's a good player, right? But I look at him and I want to know if he's a fit. Is he a fit, right? Like, are we talking about somebody who's going to be a fit in what Joe Douglas's vision is for this team? And what are you paying a guy like that? He's expecting to be a running back 1 or 2 in this league. He could potentially be a running back 2 for us. I can see that. But Brees Hall coming back, once he comes back, like, what are we going to do with a guy like Kareem Hunt? I think you want to give Brees Hall the ball as many times as possible in in the season once he comes back healthy. So for me, I just would I be upset if we bring in Kareem Hunt? No, but I think our running back is underrated. I think people are not really looking at this team as a whole and realizing, okay, nobody respected our passing game, and our offensive line was pretty much duct taped together, right? So that was a huge hindrance to these guys' abilities to go ahead and play the game of football. And I think with a guy like Aaron Rodgers coming in, you solidifying the offensive line. I like Bam. I like Carter a lot.
Yeah,
I
like
think those guys are. I'm a big fan. I think those guys are running back twos on most teams. So I think those guys can go ahead and hold it down until Breece Hall is 100%. And Breece Hall should come back 100% physically. It's the mental aspect, right? It's an ACL tear. Is he going to trust his knee? Like that's what we need to worry about with Breece Hall. But the thing is, when he tore his ACL, he tore it. On a contact. On a contact hit, like he got hit, and then that's how his knee buckled. Like it's more concerning for me if he's running and he goes to cut, no contact, he goes down. Then I think mentally it's harder to kind of bounce back from that. But this is a guy who got hit, got a gang tackled, and that's how he tore his ACL. So I think that the mental component might be a little bit quicker for Breece Hall to come back from. But we need to go ahead and be real with ourselves. Like not everybody can do what Breece Hall did. And to try to compare what the other running backs did behind a mediocre offensive line with mediocre QB play, it's just not fair. It's not even close to fair. Like Breece Hall is a special talent, which is why he was able to overcome the hindrances that we had, on the offense. There's few running backs that could have done what Breece Hall did with our quarterback situation and offensive line situation last year. Very, very few running backs, but he's one of those real ones.
There you go, man. I like that, Leo. I think your concern is valid. I mean, the truth is we don't know what the hell Breece is. He got an injury, right? The good news is most guys come back from this one. So this is, it might take a minute. But again, I think if we have a quarterback that's a threat, that pulls everybody back. And now you're just one-on-one in many respects. You got take your tight end on a linebacker and it breaks him free. I mean, that's, So I think we have a lot to be hopeful about. I will say there's some conversation going on whether or not Zach sucks in the chat, right? There's all kinds of stats going back and forth. Somebody said, didn't Zach beat Buffalo? Well, to say that Zach beat Buffalo, I think is a stretch. He had 154 yards. I mean, I think the way we said it was he was efficient and he was efficient. Yes. He toned down the mistakes, which was very helpful.
Zach didn't lose us the game. I wouldn't say he won us the game.
Right. That's a good way to say.
Hey, GreenBean, I got to jump off of that real estate test.
Yeah, go ahead. You do you, man. Hey, let's everybody wish Gunny. Throw some fire emojis in the chat for Gunny's real estate test. He's going to be selling us all houses and shit soon. You'll see.
Yeah, good luck. If you guys are looking for a house in the Texas area, I'm your guy. So I appreciate you, GreenBean, and can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.
Right on. There he goes. Good luck, Gunny. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Here he goes. Let's bounce Jeremy up. You want to join? And I'll bring Watu-K on in a few minutes as well. Give me 5 minutes. I'll bring Jeremy on first, and I'll bring Watu-K on. Unless Jeremy doesn't want it. Do you want to? So you want to?
They're not allowed to see our secret codes and our signs.
We have secret codes. This means A-OK or a yes, right?
If not, I would have been like this.
Yeah, no good, or this. And then you have the other one. What do? You got a thing. You do this.
Well, this is my favorite one.
Yeah. Like, hey, look at me. He's the light and shit. It's so funny. Well, thank you, Jeremy. And Watu-K will come on in a few minutes to help us out. But yeah, how you doing, man? You good? You got any thoughts about the conversation so far? You want to just dump real fast? What do you think? I'm always thinking about my opinions while I'm watching you guys talk, and
nothing stuck out as something I disagreed with horribly. Like I'm with Gunny on the running back thing. If we trade back that first pick and have extra picks and we've addressed our other needs and they want to go in the 5th round and grab a running back, I'm not going to scream and cry. Same thing. But also, I'm not too worried about our running back room. We got a lot of other concerns that we got to think about on this team.
Yeah. Well, right. And I think, I look, number one, I want to say I like how you kind of stay present. You can bring Jeremy on at any point and he's ready most of the time. I like to catch him every now and then. But hey, look, so I want to say, Leo, I'm sorry Gunny's gone. This is kind of directed at Gunny. He says, we're talking about, the fact that Green Bay hasn't done anything in free agency. Well, they don't have a lot of needs. I don't know if I agree, man. I mean, they're kind of almost a rebuilding team. I mean, they have lots of question marks. They can do a lot of things and shore up their team. I mean, I don't know. Green Bay, they're not in the worst shape in the world, but they got some aging guys and they got some real young guys, and they can totally go out there and shore it up, especially if they want to make sure Jordan Love succeeds. I mean, they have a more patient fan base. Maybe they'll be like, hey, dude, he's going to need a year, but he's been developing for 3 years. I don't know how patient fans can be. I can't imagine a guy developing for 3 years, coming in, sucking for a year, and still being like, yeah, he's good. Like, that's not us. Maybe it is Green Bay. I don't know. I mean, and they're not they're not the Jets. They're not the Jacksonville Jaguars. We spend a lot of money in free agency, historically, and that's not them. So that's a great point as well. Give me this one, but I don't know. Knobcraft checking back in here, Jeremy. Jeremy Knobcraft did confirm that this is. I don't know how he confirmed it. I don't know.
I confirmed it because of the picture. I don't know if you were there. We got separated before the opener, but I don't know if you were there to meet him. But I met Knobcraft.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't think I met him.
I met him in the parking lot. He was hanging out in the Jet Lounge tailgate.
Right.
So I know what he looks like. So I could look in the picture and know it's him. And plus I saw it yesterday on my channel too. Like he had shifted back.
Well, let me say something. Knobcraft, I'm going to come right back. KD, number one, no, you don't have to pay, but they do take precedence, right? Like Jake Asman says, they skip the line. So if they keep coming in, they're the ones that are going to get answered, right? It's just the way it is. Number two, I answered this fucking question. I did this for you, KD. Where'd you go? I did it. I actually pulled it. This is like the 15th time I did that for you, my friend. You got to stick with us. You can't do that. It was like an hour ago I did that for, right, Jerry? Remember this?
Yeah.
Taking cornerbacks. I said we're really deep. I talked about Bryce Hall. Right.
I'm present.
Yeah, you're paying attention. I did the whole thing for you, KD. Come on, man. If you're gonna do that, you can't leave and then come back and act like like you heard everything. You just can't do that, my friend. You can't. You got to go back. You got to listen and see. You don't have to. You can. Anyway, Knobcraft, there you go. Thank you, buddy. He says, if hypothetically all the old linemen we like in the second are gone by 42 and 43, would you pull two linebackers back to back? And who would they? Oof. I don't know. My short answer is no. Would I take one? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, Jeremy, what do you think? Any interest in back-to-back linebackers? I mean, CJ Mosley's aging, right? We just signed Quincy Williams, so he's here. We got Jamie and Sherwood and Hamza Nasruddin. We don't know what Hamza Nasruddin. I think Sherwood is ready to start. Nasruddin, I like him a whole bunch, but he hasn't done much. We haven't seen him, so it's hard to say with any confidence that he's going to be able to do anything. But what do you think? I mean, are you taking a linebacker? Are you taking two? Where do you stand on that one?
I'm okay taking a linebacker more in the fourth. Now, don't get me wrong. If they love Owen Popoe, whatever, and they want to grab him, I'm not going to scream and cry about it. You definitely can't use both of those picks because let's say you get a tackle in the first round. You got to get your center. You can't wait to the fourth round. Unless we sign Jones, we don't have the luxury to wait to the fourth round. There's no way.
And there's good centers. There's like five that can be plug and play.
Right. Plus, we need defensive tackle. Right. So, especially if you have a guy like Mozzie there or something, still there. I don't think Kalijah will still be there. If he is, you'll run to the freaking podium. So I don't think you could afford to take two linebackers, 42 and 43. I think there is a linebacker I would be okay with them taking in Owen, but I would prefer, I think there's guys like, and I get this from Dom C, believe me, I didn't have the time to do this much tape, but like Dorian Williams, who's a guy that I think somebody else was talking about before in the chat. He's a fourth, fifth round guy who's an excellent coverage guy, fits our scheme perfectly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a bunch of guys that I think we could justify taking there as far as talent and everything, but like Jeremy said, I mean, center, we don't have a center, so we got to get one. That said, you could even justify guard. I mean, Laken Tomlinson was iffy last year. And, the injuries and everything. AVT hasn't made it through a season yet, guys. Let's just be real. We like to throw Becton under the bus and everything, but AVT missed games his rookie season and did not finish the season. Mekhi Becton obviously had more, but AVT was injured most of the season last year. So I'm not out on him or anything like that, but we gotta think about that. We had Nate Herbig last year, which was a godsend. So drafting that guard too, so we need a center. Bringing on a guard in that, of that ilk, of that caliber would not be the worst idea in the world either. I think, linebacker, you could take one, but especially if we have both picks, using them both on linebackers, I think would be, honestly, Knobcraft, I'm going to say, I think it would be foolish. And I would be upset. I would be upset by it. Taking one, sure. There's lots of guys, depending on who you're looking to kind of, replace or, whatever. If you're going to go outside, maybe the will. I mean, we use two a lot. So it's a weird situation, but I don't know. I could see us taking one. I don't think we're going to, but I could see it. But two, absolutely not, man. I think that would be rough. Yeah, it'd be rough. Then there's quite a few linebackers I like, but I don't know.
And by the way, it was Jason Edwards who loves Dorian Williams. I want to give him that shout out because he was talking
Jason Edwards.
Yeah. He gave you a super chat before too. He's a good guy.
Yeah. KD, you're a curmudgeon, man. Why are you grumbling about these D-Hop and why not? That's real. There are rumors out there right now that the Jets are in, and we were bringing in OBJ. I mean, it's real.
Yeah.
Dude.
Why would
you? You're grumpy tonight, KD. What happened? Let us know, man. You okay? I'm a therapist. I don't know if you know that. I'll help if I can. I'll help you, buddy. You seem upset. Everybody, give KD some love in the chat. Let him know we're here for him. All right? You don't have to be. You're not under attack. All right. What else we got here? Well, thank you, Knobcraft. You're the man. I appreciate it. Toby checking in. What's up with Toby Bagley? All right, here you go. Hear me out. If anybody starts to think, hear me out. You're ready to hear some shit. No, I didn't read this yet. Hear me out. I'm ready. Okay, I'm gonna get myself comfy here. Darn, oh no, sorry, Gunny's not here, as you know. I apologize, Toby, but Jeremy will be a nice fill. Darnell Wright is my offensive tackle 1. Ooh, interesting. I know I'm crazy, but I went into watching his film thinking he was offensive tackle 4. But he is far and away the best pass blocker. That's not true. And he plays nasty. He does. And he's got a lot. He's a monster, right? That all said, look, if he's your tackle 1, that's fine. I would be hard pressed to believe that he's many GM's tackle 1. It's not to say that he's none. I mean, it happens every year, dude. Like, look at Bill Belichick last year. He took Cole Strange, who many had as a 3rd round back. Most 3rd round, good player, potentially starter, but 3rd round, and he took him in the 1st. So clearly, Cole Strange was his lineman 1. You know what I mean? That's what he needed, and he grabbed him. And he said, "So I wouldn't be surprised to see Darnell Wright jump up and be taken before an Anton Harrison, or maybe even let's say Skoronski, right, with the arms. Like the thing with the arms, people say it's only an inch. It's like an inch and a quarter." That's this much, his arms. You reach your arm out. Look, this is Jeremy. I'm reaching my arm out.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this much? Really? That's going to change it? But it does. Like there are guys, dude, there's like one guy in the past 10 years with his arms under 34 inches that made the Pro Bowl. Like, what is that? It's real. Like, it's when you look at hand size. I went through it. I made a whole video for Jetnation like 3 years ago about quarterback hand size. And people were saying it doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. We're talking about a quarter inch. Dude, it's literally, and forgive me, I'm just going to speak in general terms. There's like under a certain, I think it's 10 inches, right? So under that, there's like no quarterbacks that ever made the Pro Bowl with under a certain hand size. And it's like, you think it's this much, but there's something to it, and they've identified it, and they value it at a certain level. So like Skoronski might slip, man. He's a fantastic offensive lineman with versatility, no less. Can play numerous positions, But the arm size, people are going to look at him, especially if they're heavy analytics based. They're going to go, no, he's not a first round pick. If he's there in the second, sure. But they're not going to do it, man. There's going to be plenty of teams that just write him off. And he just might slide. And there might be a scenario where Darnell Wright being, I mean, dude, let me just make sure. I got to double back here. Hold on. I want to see how tall, how big he is. It's all smearing together. Hold on a second. Yeah, 6 foot, dude. He's 6'5", 333 pounds. I mean, he's a beast. That said, he's got rawness too, man. And yes, he's strong. He's going to be. I believe he's going to be good. But I think that the other guys are more refined. And Paris Johnson is the best pass blocker in the draft. I mean, nothing wrong with Darnell Wright in that case. But when you're looking at first round picks and the likelihood to start right away because you use such a valuable asset on them, that's what the people look like. I'd look, Toby. Let's look. Last year at this time, who was the number 1 overall pick again? What the hell's his name? You remember last year?
Davis.
No. The edge rusher, the Jaguars.
Right. Wasn't that Davis or Jones or what the hell is it?
No, what the hell is his name, man? I got to do this. Hold on a second.
Oh, Walker. Thank you, Watson.
Trayvon Walker. At this point last year, 2 weeks before the draft, he was edge 4 on most people's boards. Right before the draft, he skyrocketed. Why? What happened? All of a sudden, he skyrockets, and the Jaguars bite, and they take him. That's not to say, look, rookie year doesn't mean shit, man. Guys can have a struggling rookie year and develop and get better, and he might be the best guy. That's fine long term. But it was surprising. But it was only like shortly before the draft that it was like real, like, wait, this guy might be the number 1 overall pick. And it was like, what? So who knows? Maybe when it all shakes out, Darnell Wright's the first tackle taken. It could happen. It could happen, man. And look, we see it all the time with Smokescreen too. When in 2020, with the top 4 tackles being, obviously Becton, and then you had Jedrick Wills and Tristan Wirfs, and then Anthony Thomas, right? I think his name was. He was the cleanest, most well-rounded offensive tackle in the class. And he was for the whole year. And then the weeks before the draft, it all went nuts and everything. He's the 4th, he's the 5th. And he was the first guy taken. So it's like there's just a lot going back and forth. Trust your own eyes, right? That's what we do, Toby, like you're saying. Look at your own tape. Trust your own eyes. Do your own process and make your list and see how you do. That's what I do. That's what I do every year. I listen to some, like what I do is I go through, I don't want to give you, it's a fucking long process, but that's what I do every year. I make my list and I see how I do. Most years I'm better than anybody, but last year I was not good. I want to tell you that. I was way off on shit last year, although the guys I liked played very well, very well. My prediction for the Jets draft was, and what I wanted was Kayvon Thibodeau with 4. Then I wanted either Kyle Hamilton or Devin Lloyd at 10. And then I wanted George Pickens in the 2nd. You know what I mean? Or maybe a couple other guys, but that might have been there. Now, all those players were great. You know what I mean? They played well. And I think Sauce and Garrett are better. They obviously won Rookie of the Year. I'm very, very happy. Not only with the play, Jeremy, it's who they are, dude. You know what I mean? It's bigger than just the play. The other guys are great. They're playing great. Nobody's Garrett Wilson, dude. Like Garrett Wilson catching that pass in Ohio, in the end zone in Cleveland, going, fuck you, to the people that 6 months earlier, they were loving him. Most of those people, they love Garrett Wilson. Fuck you. I was like, oh, this guy.
And I think Sauce could become potentially the biggest star we've ever had.
Yeah, dude.
Like, and when I say star, I mean the biggest star in the NFL since Deion Sanders. Like the personality and the way he is, he could be the biggest star we've ever had.
Hey, man, he's already working Twitch and YouTube, man. He's got the Buffalo Wild Wings thing. I mean, he's already – dude, that's why, like, look, a lot of the time last year, like, we saw a whole bunch of kind of close calls with his pass interference. Now, when you look at it in slow motion, he's not interfering. He's that good. Like he knows how to time it, and it looks like it. But you could see a lot of the times that would get called, especially the Jets. But they gave him the benefit of the doubt as a rookie. That says to me the NFL has already identified him as a star. Just like they did with Revis, man. Revis, now granted, Revis rarely interfered. He was that good. But when he did, 9 times out of 10, they didn't throw it. They gave it to him because he's Darrelle Revis. He's a star. He's the best. He's Revis Island. Sauce has kind of got the makings of that. I want to jinx the poor guy, but I'm with you, man. I think Sauce is I'm unbelievable. But Toby, darn all right. Look, you have every reason to like him, and I'm with you. I am. One, I don't have him there. That's fine. Look at this. You know, the Jets, and I'm watching the Jets Cleveland here. We don't look too good. I'm just kidding. It's 17-14 right now. I know what's going to happen. This is the game. Garrett Wilson's going to tell everybody to go where to go. Oh, man, Garrett Wilson. Then that winning catch over the middle. Oh, my God.
No, it's the game where Gunny almost scared his daughters to death. Like, they almost had to take the family to the hospital because he ran out of that room and screamed at the top of his lungs.
Oh, that's so funny, man. Gunny's real, dude. Gunny's the real deal. Here we go. We're punting. Let me see what happens here. Oh, get it. Get it. All right, good. Braden Mann down in it inside the 5. There you go. Good job, Braden Mann.
You haven't mentioned that I had my head in the toilet that game.
Oh my! Was that the game?
Well, the 2 games was that, and then I started freaking out in Pittsburgh. But that Cleveland game, my head was deep in the toilet.
I don't know if you guys watch our live streams. We live stream every game, and I had to tell Jeremy, I would say it in the private chat, dude, you got to calm the fuck down. Like, it's our job to at least keep, we got to keep this from being a sewer. And we couldn't stop. And I had to tell him live. I'm like, Jeremy, you got to get your head out of the toilet, man. You're fucking killing me, man. You know what I mean? It's hard. I'm feeling the same stuff, man. We got to try to keep it up. If we allow it, we're just going to become this big complaint fest.
I got better at it.
Mike B, before we get to yours, I want to bring Y2K on so we can join the fun. I know it's getting late, guys. And if you have to bounce, Jeremy or Y2K. But let's say hello to New York Sports Wicker Media, Y2K. What's up, buddy? You still with us?
Yeah, just another day in paradise.
Can't
complain too much. And, no matter what craziness I'm going through during the week, I always look forward to Thursday night. Always the highlight of my week.
Yeah, and it sets up Friday. You know what I mean? It's Friday. It's nice. It's in the beginning of the weekend, right? That's the way I see it. I don't have weekends anymore, but I don't know. I don't know. My life is weird. Let me just say that, but I can appreciate the old system of weekends. I get it. So good. Glad you're with us, Y2K. Thanks for hanging out, man. And we'll get to the trivia in just a bit, but Mike has a question here and he says, I've heard that next year will be a better year for quarterback. I think you mean the draft. I get your reasoning and love it. It's just, I've loved what JD has done. We can't think he's going to be perfect, but close is nice. Good luck. So he's saying maybe we go quarterback next year. Aaron Rodgers is here this year, Zach, and maybe we go quarterback next year. Y2K, what do you think? You think JD's got his eyes on a quarterback next year or anything like that? You think he's looking ahead, or you think he just wants to get this done this year and kind of see what we can do?
Maybe a developmental project next year, but come on. If you're trading for Aaron Rodgers, you're not making this trade for 1 year with the intent of drafting a quarterback with a premium pick the following season. It just doesn't make any sense, especially considering that pick is clearly going to be 32nd overall in the first round. I mean, how high of a pick can you realistically expect, right?
Right.
So, yeah, you can look at a quarterback a little bit down the road, maybe a mid-round pick to develop, but no, I am not thinking about quarterback right now whatsoever with this draft.
Yeah, I'm not either, man. And look, maybe let's say Nathaniel Hackett, he has the year with Zach. We get Aaron Rodgers. We're doing the whole thing. And week 7, week 8, he looks at Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh and just says, I'm just going to tell you, I can't do anything with this kid. Maybe, worst case scenario, right? It's he's just impervious, right? I can't get to him. In that case, yeah, they're going to be looking to bring somebody in behind Aaron Rodgers. It's my belief that Aaron Rodgers is going to be here for 2 years, which would be fantastic. That's what I believe. I don't think all this hubbub for, a one-night stand, it just doesn't make sense to me. But I think they'll be looking at a quarterback. Hopefully we won't be up high enough to draft one of the top 2 guys or something. But yeah, I don't know. I think this year quarterback is unlikely, but next year maybe, man. Jeremy, you got any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to take a quarterback, and I think that he did due diligence. He did bring in the kid from Purdue, Aiden something, or
Aiden O'Connell. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does his due diligence in case he slips to a point where they figure what the hell, or maybe non-drafted. Who knows? But no, I mean, I just don't see the need right now. I agree. I think that if Rodgers was to leave after 1 year, then they're going to give Zach the shot, or they're going to scramble and sign somebody. But I just don't think this is the year we need to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with it. But there you go, Mike. Jason Edwards likes Joe Tippmann. What's up, Jason? Good to see you back again with another super chat. Thank you, sir. Center, guard, line versatility, nasty. Yeah, we love Joe. I mean, we love Tippmann. I mean, he's one of the guys when you talk about like maybe 5 centers that can be plug and play. You know, obviously you have John Michael Schmitz, you have Steve Avila, you know, and look, a lot of these guys can play guard, right? You got Whippler, you got Patterson, you got Stromberg, you got Tippmann. I mean, there's a group of guys. This is really a neat little, you know, a nook, if you will, of centers. It's a good year to grab one, man. It's about time, dude. I mean, we should have, you know, Creed Humphrey, you know, a couple of years ago, we had an opportunity for that. We ended up moving up for ABT, which is fine. But anyway, I think it's the year that we go get a center.
I think so too. And I'll tell you one thing I really like about Tippmann is that he's a really good pulling blocker. You know, if you want to take like an inside offensive lineman, pull him out and, you know, run Breece Hall behind him, Tippmann is very capable of doing that. So, and I think Keith Carter's going to come up with some formations. If the Jets draft Tippmann, he could run some plays behind this guy and not just up the middle.
Yeah. Well, look at this one. So Leo says, "What's up, Leo? Thanks for checking back in. Who would be a guy you guys don't want to draft at 13? Ah, that's an interesting one. Who are you guys thinking? I mean, Jeremy, what do you think? Is there a guy that you're like, I just don't want this guy? Who is it?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I because I've been thinking tackle. So I guess if they went, as much as I love him as a player, and I love this guy, I'm one of the biggest fans for him. Like, I don't want them to don't take Branch, don't take the safety, don't do it. Some people say Bijan, you know, like oh, look at how amazing he'd be with Breece. I just don't think you could do that. I just don't think as much of a luxury as that would be, and it would be incredible. I don't think you need 2 superstar running backs. It'd be a beautiful thing to have, but you don't invest the 13th pick to try to get your second superstar running back when you already have one. So those are a couple of guys I would not want to see us take.
I'll go to you next, Watts. Okay, why not? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I breath. We went.
I would echo with Jeremy on that one, but I would also throw in the cornerbacks. I'm not interested in Witherspoon or Gonzalez, talented as they may be. I mean, come on, can we have a better 1-2 punch in the league despite what it's funny when you see these polls. Who's the best 1-2 punch in the league? And you see like Miami and these other teams, but they still don't want to seem to give Sauce and DJ the respect as being a top tandem cornerback in this league. But we know how good they were last season. To me, that kind of pick would not make a lot of sense. It would make it can make a great position even better, but we got too many other things to address. So my hope is in those first 12 picks, I want to see like 4 quarterbacks and both premium cornerbacks off the board by 13. That's what I want to see.
You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see this bullshit Nolan Smith. I don't want it, dude. I don't like it. I don't want it. I mean, later on, sure, if you may, second, I don't want it, dude. The combine freak scares the shit out of me. I want you guys to know that. I don't hate the player, but I don't want him at 13. It's just one of those things. And I agree with Y2K and the cornerbacks. The safety, I'm with you, Jeremy, to an extent. But again, like let's say the tackles are gone and Jalen Carter's gone and all the guys that you would, I don't have a problem, man. I really don't. I think it would be, I'd be like, okay, well, that's the way. He's the best player on the board, and they did it. That said, I'm hoping that's not the case, but I would be a little bit more likely to pull the trigger. But Nolan Smith is my guy, Leo. That's who I don't want. I don't want him. And that doesn't mean I don't like him. I don't want him. Weed the people, just popping in to say what up to my fellas. What's up, man? Good to see you. Everybody want to say hi to Weed the people?
Hey, Weed the People. Love you, man.
Weed the people.
Awesome
Yes.
supporter of all of us.
That's right. He's the shit. That's right. All right. Well, there it is, man. All right. So look, we got our trivia coming, and guys, don't forget, we're going to be giving this away in just a few minutes. So if you did qualify, anybody with a $4.99 or more super chat, you are automatically qualified. This is an $85, really an $89, but currently today they're having a $5 off sale, I guess. And you can get it for even cheaper with the GreenBean Jetsfan. What's this green? What the hell is it? I got to think. It's a GreenBean. Promo code GreenBean. You can save. You can get that $5 off and 20% more off if you go there and use my promo code. But we're giving this one away to one of you guys tonight. Last minute, if you do want to try to get in, you can throw in the super chat and we'll add you to the list. But right now, Weed the People, you are the final super chat. And that brings us to Y2K and the trivia. The rules are as follows. Y2K has gone to great lengths to find us a creative, sometimes even humorous, Jets-based question. We have 4 minutes. Y2K runs the timer. To answer the question, we are not allowed to use search engines, encyclopedias, nor are we supposed to call friends. This is on our own knowledge. Y2K, you're up.
All right. So with Connor coming on next week, see, I had a very special draft question scheduled for next week, but I'm going to forgo that question because I got some Connor Hughes specific trivia. I'm going to challenge Connor next week.
I have to vet them.
Oh, yeah.
I have to vet those questions.
All right.
Yeah. But I'm in, but I got to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to challenge him. But so what we're going to do, I'm going to do a little different trivia question. So as we know, the New York Jets are currently scheduled to draft 13th in this year's NFL draft. In their history, they have had the number 13 pick 3 times. Can you name the 3 players they have picked with the number 13 pick? Your time starts now.
The Jets have had the 13th overall pick 3 times since when?
History, in their entire history.
Oh my God! Now, does it go back into before the 80s?
Yes,
Oh.
it does. It could. It may. It may not.
It does. I mean,
it may.
It could. It may.
I'm including Jets history. Is all I'm saying.
All right, guys. So,
I like Marco is the Marco Davis. I'm not familiar with the Marco Davis. Who is that? That made me laugh. The Marco Davis.
It's not Kenny O. He was picked
O.
before Marino.
No, it's not Kenny O. Let's see.
I see.
Sheldon Richardson was he 13? He was 13.
He was the number 13 pick
There
after
is.
Milliner was picked 9.
Ooh.
Sheldon Richardson is correct.
What about Marvin Jones?
Marvin Jones is
4.
incorrect. Yeah,
he was the 4th overall.
early.
Harlan Abraham says Riggins.
John Riggins is incorrect.
Oh, we had 12 and 13. So Chris Bradigan's. What's up, Bradigan? Good to see you, buddy. John Abraham.
John Abraham is correct.
There
That's
it is.
2 down.
Trying to think. I'm like completely fried. Look at Flacco. Oh, man, he got it to Garrett Wilson. Look at this guy. He's good. That Garrett Wilson, man, he might be something.
I mean, Brave Man stuck that punt right inside the 5-yard line. I mean,
that's right. He's a keeper, dude. Elijah Vera Tucker. He was wait, we traded up to
15 or something.
15, wait a minute. 23 to 15, 14 or 15.
14, maybe 14.
14. Yeah, I think 14 is right.
Was it that tight end Mitchell?
Johnny Mitchell? No,
Yeah.
that is incorrect.
He was the 9th, I think.
I'm still checking the
what about
chat.
John? Wait. What about Calvin Pryor?
He was pretty late. I think he was like
16.
in the 20s. He was
he's in the teens.
Okay. It was a little bit later. 16 does sound right. Yeah, he was not a 13 though.
It's not going to be Joe Namath, is it?
No, Joe Namath was pretty early on.
Yeah, well, we stole Joe Namath from the.
That's when they still
team.
had the mixture. You had the AFL and the NFL draft, and players would get selected by multiple teams. You may not know the Jets actually drafted John Mackey at one time, the famous Colts tight end. They drafted him at one time. Herb Adderley, the famous Packers cornerback. They drafted those guys, but they both went to the NFL.
Interesting. What about Kyle Brady?
Kyle Brady is incorrect.
James Ferrier. Good guess, Leo.
It is not James Ferrier.
How about John Riggins?
We
No,
said
it
that.
is not John Riggins.
Oh, we
We're
said
down.
that.
Yeah.
Nope. Y'all got a minute and 5 seconds left. No, DeBerkeshaw was.
D.
picked on
Milliner
before.
was 11, Austin.
He
Bob
was
Crable?
9. D was
9. Oh, there it
9.
is. 9.
Lagaman.
That I remember. 9 and 13 for D and Sheldon.
That's right.
Vito
Good.
was guessing Lagaman. That's a good guess.
It is not Jay Logman. Oh, I see the correct answer. I see it. I
Not
see it.
Aaron Lee. It's not Log. Aaron Glenn.
It is not Aaron Glenn. It's right after that one.
Burgess Owens.
Burgess Owens.
I don't feel so bad. I was never that.
Never in a million years.
One of the
Never in a
best,
million
man.
years.
Well, fantastic safety we talked about. Went on to the Raiders, won a Super Bowl, was now a congressman in the state of Utah.
There you go. He's
Living a
Zach
good life,
Wilson's
that man.
congressman.
He's a good man, yeah.
He's
Burgess
Zach
Owens.
Wilson. There you go, Burgess Owens. E Boogie with the home run, the grand slam. We got there. We got our guys on base. And
Kareem would like to point out he gave the answer first.
He
No,
been
didn't.
said that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he said
Kareem-
it. He said it
Kareem-
10 times.
Kareem said that.
He said that 10 times.
Yeah.
Look, wait, no,
every
but look,
single
but
time.
no, but here's the thing. Watch this. Hey, watch the K. Look at this. He did. He did. This is before it was said. Good for you, Kareem.
He misspelled
Now-
Owens there. I don't know if I
He wouldn't have counted it. There is no Burgess Owens.
Kareem, for you have to spell it correctly. Everybody
Yeah.
else, I don't care.
Well, the thing is, Sheldon Richardson and Abraham were given those, but you did get Burgess Owens, so you got to give it to him. But I am also convinced that he cheated. I don't think Kareem is beyond that for
You
one.
said
second.
it. I didn't.
I'm saying it. Kareem wants to be right. He wants to be right bad. He's willing to cheat because nobody's looking
yes.
at him.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Kareem was asking me for Glenn's contact information. the other day.
Really?
Well, hey, good job, everybody. Kareem, thanks for being here because without you, we'd never get anything right. You know how it is, buddy. That's good shit. So, all right, all three you cheated. Look at Superfan. You all cheated. Let's see. All right, what else we got? Winner gets to use the Manscaped for right. So that's the way it goes. So now that E Boogie got it right, I send this to him first. He gets to use it once, and then we send it to the winner of the contest. That said, it is contest time, everybody. Jeremy, how many qualifiers do we have tonight?
We got off to a slow start, but boy, did he heat up. We got 28 qualified entries, and I do want to state this, being that I am a math person. Leo, our friend Leo, has a 25% chance to win.
Wow.
It's funny. I had a feeling that you were going to mention Leo. I just
Each
had-
time you draw, he has a 25% chance.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Well, let's see how it happens, man. Let's see. All right. So, guys, I'm going to put up the number generator here, or the randomizer, I should say, because that's what I really mean. Let's see. There it is. So we have 28 contestants. So we make this nice and simple here. Again, I don't control a damn thing except hitting this button. This is completely random, other than to say, Jeremy, we're going to go top to bottom, the first one. And we're going to go bottom to the top, the second one. We're going to try to just add to the random. All right. We're going to try it. All right, guys. Are you ready? Now, the first one is for the T-shirt. All right. This is the T-shirt. Green Bean T-shirt. You get to. Oh, Jason Edwards wants in. Here we go. Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
okay, let me enter him. I'm going to throw him in randomly right now. That makes us have 29.
29.
Oh, good. All right. Let's see what
Leo's odds have just dropped to under 25%.
24%.
Okay.
All right. So he says, my dream would be that Jermaine Johnson becomes our 2023 John Abraham. We will wreck opponents' O-lines. I'll tell you what, John Abraham was different out of the gate. Like you saw it, man. It was like, wow, wait a second. He was, and he was even better than Sean Ellis right away. But that said, I have every belief and confidence that Jermaine Johnson is going to be an excellent player for us. He's great against the run, in addition to having pass rush presence. So I think he's going to be a great player. John Abraham, though, I don't know, Jay. That'd be dream scenario, right? I'm with you. My dream. I like that. Let's keep it as our dreams a little bit. But we're rooting for him. I love JJ. I think he's a great pick, and I think he's going to be good. So you now have an extra entry, Jason. So well done. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, here we go. We got 29 contestants or 29 qualifiers. Some of them are the same person because numerous super chats, of course. Here we go. 3, 2-1 for the T-shirt. Number 6, Jeremy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leo Vernaccio.
Fucking Leo. Every week. It's amazing, Leo. So you get another
He just put
T-shirt.
another super chat in. He just did another
For
one.
$4.99 just to rub it in.
Roman, throw the other one in. He gets it, man. Leo, lucky Leo's like Seaside Heights, everybody. Maybe that's who he is. Maybe he's the Seaside Heights Leo. Maybe, right, Leo?
God. My buddy Johnny Jimenez is in the chat. Oh,
Now
my
you have to-
goodness,
now
Johnny.
you
Good to see it, man.
Now you
There
have
he
to change
is.
it to 30 entries, GreenBean.
30. Oh, we got to change it to 30 now.
30.
So, hey, you know what's funny? He calls it the Virginia Beach Jets Club. That's limiting, Johnny. You got to say it's Virginia Jets fan.
Virginia, the whole state.
The whole state.
Whole
Yeah,
state.
man.
I know. From
That's
from
limiting.
Roanoke to Norfolk, got the whole thing.
Leo, look at him. He's laughing. He's like, that's right. I know how to do this thing. All right, so here we go. We're going bottom to the top now. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go. Come on, give us a big number here, generator. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
23.
It's gonna go right to Leo.
Leo, which entry of Leo's was that?
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
You could have started from the bottom and worked your way up.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's Leo.
No shit.
It's Leo.
There it is.
Y'all got to keep up with Leo.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Like, I could have just counted 7 down. It would have been faster, but-
Mr. Green Jeans, I'm not going to say what you said, but yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that.
How is it Democrats? How the fuck is that? No. How is it Democrats? Talk to it. Talk about it. You guys don't know what you're talking about. This is what's called random. That's what it is. That's what it is. I know, salty nuts. But hey, Leo Vernaccio. Now he's got the entire GreenBean line of T-shirts. He's got all my Liquid IV, and he's got this fucking thing. So hey, he's doing all right.
I even think Leo's future corpse donated a super chat, as a matter of fact.
That's right. The Salty Nuts knows the plan. He's going to put on his GreenBean shirt and shave them their nuts. That's what he's going to do. That's the Leo plan, right, Lucky Leo? It's amazing. Well, hey, look, congratulations, man. I know it's funny, dude. It's as good. Look, that's the thing. It's like, it's random, because if I was in charge, I would spread it, but it is what it is, dude. It's like, good for Leo, man. I'm totally with it. Leo, I sincerely appreciate the support, man. Like, look, the reason you're winning is because you're given. So thank you.
That was like him winning. I just want to say him winning both was like a 1 in 16 chance.
1 in 16 chance.
That he would win both. That he would win both.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there you go. Well, congratulations. And look, thank you to all who contributed. It is greatly appreciated, man. It helps. It helps the channel stay relevant. Believe me when I tell you, man, it helps. So I'm very grateful. That all said, the show is over. We only went an hour over, not too shabby. We lost Gunny, but that's okay. He has things to do. Hopefully he's getting an A+++ on his test, like so many of our mocks. Y2K, what do you got coming up, buddy?
Man, you know what? I put up a preview yesterday, previewing the Knicks and Cavaliers first round series in the NBA. Did a video today on hockey, talking about comparing the Rangers first round matchups at the time, whether it be New Jersey, whether it be Carolina. Well, we now know it's going to be Rangers versus Devils in the first round of the playoffs. Going to be pretty exciting. I'll be doing a preview on that. And actually, yeah, I guess there'll be a few of us content providers doing a little mock draft coming up in the near future. So I think Jeremy can give you a little more information on
Where's that?
too.
What channel's that?
Buffalo.
Big Buffalo Jets fan is going to be hosting that. I believe this weekend. I believe it's Sunday night, Sunday evening in place of my show. Sunday night. Like we're going to do instead. We're going to go to Buffalo and do a draft. So yeah, so you all get to go there, just mock us, tell us how nuts we are, and that's fine. Hey, we may even trade picks around with each other. So who knows what kind of chaos may unfold that night.
I love it. That's great. It's exciting, man. Jeremy, what do you got cooking? So I'm excited, unless it's canceled, which I don't think it will be. He's pretty reliable. The Wacky Wednesday show next week in 6 days. Me and Y2K are going to have a special guest that you all know. His name is Matt O'Leary. So we're excited to have him on the show.
Don't know him.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, Soldier wants to know, wasn't that one for a T-shirt? He won both, Soldier. He won the T-shirt and he won the Lawnmower 4.0. So we did 2 contests. You guys, Knobcraft checking in. Just want to say go Devils. There you go. Knobcraft, you're funny. All right, guys. Well, that's about it. I want to remind you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's greatly appreciated if you do. It's how the channel grows. All right. If you haven't hit the milk thumbs, go ahead and do that right now on your way out. Go ahead and do that for me. It is appreciated. Guys, I want to remind you about the Talking Jets draft streamed all 3 days of the draft over there on Jets Talk 24/7. Matt O'Leary, myself, and Ryan, all 3 days. We have tons and tons of special guests, giveaways, jerseys, all kinds of stuff. It's the best. It's been growing every year. If you have not hung out with us yet and you're watching the draft alone, you got to rethink it because it's a good time and we keep it going the whole time. Don't forget about that. And guys, I appreciate you being here. It's been a lot of fun. With that all said, I wish you a great rest of your evening and tomorrow and weekend. See you next time, everybody. If I can find this friggin' thing. There it is. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
I want to kiss you. Thanks, Joe.
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over there and get under the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.